Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, and how you train it determines everything you do, feel, and achieve. This audiobook is about learning to control your thoughts, strengthen your focus, and handle any situation with confidence and calm. It is about taking charge of your mental strength so that challenges don't overwhelm you, distractions don't derail you, and fear or doubt don't stop you from moving forward. Every chapter in this audiobook gives you clear, practical ways to improve your life daily. You will discover how to stay focused when life feels chaotic, how to build self-discipline that sticks, and how to turn setbacks into opportunities for growth. You will learn how to quiet negative self-talk, manage stress, and strengthen your belief so that motivation becomes constant, not something you chase only when you feel like it. You will also learn how to make habits work for you, how to remain patient under pressure, and how to act consistently so that progress happens every single day. This is about building real mental strength that shows up in your decisions, your work, your relationships, and your personal goals. By the end of this audiobook, you will not just understand mental strength and focus, you will be able to practice them every day. You will feel more in control, more confident, and ready to face anything life throws at you. If you are ready to take your mind seriously and unlock your potential, this guide will show you exactly how to start and keep going. Chapter 1T. Build unshakable focus through daily mental discipline. Focus is the foundation of every great achievement in life. It's the invisible force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary performers. Without focus, even the most talented mind gets scattered, chasing distractions, reacting to noise, and losing sight of what truly matters. With focus, however, the same mind becomes powerful, calm, sharp, and capable of doing things that once felt impossible. Focus is not just a skill, it's a discipline. It's something you train, strengthen, and protect daily, like a muscle that grows stronger with consistent effort and weakens when neglected. Every day, the world fights for your attention. Your phone buzzes, notifications flash, your mind wanders from one thought to another, often before you even notice it. The average person spends more time reacting to life than directing it. But if you want to build a mind that wins, if you want to master any situation with strength and clarity, you must train your focus like a warrior trains his body. The fight is not outside, it's within you. The battleground is your attention, and your weapon is discipline. True mental discipline begins with awareness. You must see how easily your mind drifts, how quickly it jumps from one thing to another, how rarely it stays still. Most people never stop to notice this. They believe their thoughts control them. But awareness changes everything. Once you observe your thoughts, you realize you have the power to guide them. You can choose where to place your attention, and that single choice is what separates the focused from the distracted, the strong from the weak, the successful from the average. Focus is a choice you make moment by moment. It's not something you wait to feel, it's something you decide to practice. Discipline means doing what's necessary even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, you won't always feel motivated. You won't always feel clear. Some days your energy will be low, your mood heavy, your mind restless. But mental discipline means showing up anyway. It means staying committed when your emotions try to pull you away. The person who practices daily discipline does not rely on inspiration. They rely on consistency. Building unshakable focus starts small. It's not about perfection, it's about training. Start by choosing one moment in your day where you'll practice being completely present. It could be during your morning routine, your workout, your study time, or your work session. When you sit down to do something, commit fully. Silence the noise around you. Put your phone away. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself why this task matters. Tell your mind, this is where my attention belongs right now. Then stay with it. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. Don't judge yourself. Don't get frustrated. Every time you bring your attention back, you're strengthening your mental muscle. This simple act of returning your focus again and again is how mental strength is built. You're teaching your mind to obey you instead of controlling you. The mind is like an untamed animal at first. It runs wild, it resists, it wants to chase every distraction. But with patience and daily training, it learns discipline. It learns to stay still, to listen, to obey your direction. And once you master your focus, you gain control over your emotions, your actions, and your outcomes. Most people underestimate the power of a focused mind. They believe success is about talent or luck, but it's not. It's about concentration. Whatever you give your attention to consistently grows stronger in your life. If you focus on problems, they multiply. If you focus on growth, you expand. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. So, learn to guard it fiercely. Be intentional with where you invest your mental energy. Don't allow distractions to steal the hours meant for your dreams. Discipline means creating structure. Without structure, the mind gets lazy. It drifts into comfort and distraction. You must design your days in a way that supports your focus. Start by setting clear priorities. Ask yourself, what truly matters today? Identify your top 1 or 2 tasks that move you closer to your goals. Begin your day by focusing on those tasks before anything else. Don't open social media. Don't check unnecessary messages. Protect the first hour of your morning. It's the foundation of your mental state for the day. When you control your mornings, you control your mind. When you control your mind, you control your life. To build daily mental discipline, practice these small but powerful habits. First, create a ritual of stillness every morning. Sit in silence for a few minutes and focus on your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. Don't force your thoughts to stop, simply watch them. This daily stillness trains you to observe your mind without getting lost in it. Over time, it strengthens your ability to stay calm and focused even in chaos. Second, practice single tasking. Modern life glorifies multitasking, but it destroys focus. You cannot give your best attention to multiple things at once. Choose one task. Give it your full attention. Finish it with excellence. Then move to the next. Every time you complete a task with undivided focus, you train your mind to go deeper instead of wider. You trade speed for depth, and in that depth lies mastery. Third, remove distractions before they remove your attention. Every notification, every pop-up, every background noise chips away at your focus. Build an environment that supports deep work. Keep your space clean. Set specific times for checking messages or social media. The fewer temptations around you, the easier it becomes to discipline your mind. Fourth, practice mindful recovery. Mental discipline is not about pushing endlessly, it's about balance. A focused mind also knows when to rest. Burnout happens when you confuse exhaustion with discipline. True discipline includes recovery. After deep focus, step away. Go for a walk, stretch, breathe fresh air. Allow your mind to reset. This rhythm of focus and recovery creates long-term clarity and strength. Fifth, reflect daily. At the end of each day, ask yourself, where did I give my best attention today? And where did I lose it? Be honest. Don't judge yourself. Awareness is progress. Each reflection helps you refine your focus for tomorrow. Over time, you'll notice patterns, times of the day when you're most focused, habits that distract you, people or environments that affect your energy. Use that insight to adjust your routine. Mental discipline is not built overnight. It's earned through repetition. Every day you train, you grow stronger. At first, it feels hard. You'll struggle to stay focused for even 10 minutes. Your mind will resist. But don't mistake resistance for failure. It's part of the process. Every repetition is progress. Every effort is growth. You're reprogramming your brain to operate at a higher level. The more you practice, the longer you can sustain focus. And eventually, you'll reach a point where distractions lose their power over you. True focus feels peaceful. It's not forced. It's not tense. It's quiet and powerful. When you're focused, you enter a flow state. Time slows down, your mind sharpens, and everything else fades. You become fully alive in the moment. That state of deep concentration is where your best work, best thinking, and best self emerge. But to reach it consistently, you must build it through discipline. Mental discipline also means learning to say no. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to your true priorities. You can't do everything, and you don't need to. Focus means choosing what matters most and giving it your full attention. It means being selective about what you allow into your mind. Protect your mental space like it's sacred, because it is. A cluttered mind cannot focus, and a distracted heart cannot grow. There will always be days when you feel scattered, when your thoughts drift, when your motivation is low. On those days, rely on your discipline, not your feelings. Discipline is what keeps you grounded when emotions fluctuate. It's what carries you through when motivation fades. Motivation starts you, discipline sustains you. The mind you train in discipline becomes your greatest ally during difficult times. It allows you to stay calm in crisis, patient in uncertainty, and focused when others panic. Mental strength grows in discomfort. Every time you resist distraction, you're building endurance. Every time you finish what you start, you're reinforcing your confidence. Discipline is not punishment, it's self-respect. It's the commitment to your higher self over your temporary impulses. When you choose discipline, you're saying, "My future matters more than my comfort." That's the mindset that wins. One of the most powerful exercises to strengthen focus is to practice intentional awareness in ordinary moments. When you eat, focus on eating. Taste your food. When you walk, focus on your steps. Feel the ground beneath your feet. When you listen to someone, focus on their words. Be fully there. The more you practice presence in small things, the stronger your focus becomes in big things. Focus is not just for work or goals, it's for life. The more present you are, the more peaceful and powerful you become. Another essential part of daily mental discipline is managing your inner dialogue. Your thoughts can either fuel your focus or destroy it. Pay attention to the voice in your mind. If it's filled with doubt, worry, or distraction, it will drain your energy. Replace those thoughts with ones that strengthen you. Instead of "I can't focus," say, "I'm training my focus." Instead of "I'm too distracted," say, "I'm learning to stay present." Your words shape your reality. Speak with purpose. Guide your mind with intention. Over time, this reprograms your inner voice to work with you, not against you. Building unshakable focus also means embracing discomfort. Focus is often uncomfortable because it forces you to face stillness. It removes the constant stimulation that your brain craves. But the discomfort is where growth happens. When you resist the urge to check your phone or switch tasks, you're teaching your mind that it doesn't need constant entertainment. You're reclaiming control. That stillness that once felt uncomfortable eventually becomes your source of power. Mental discipline is freedom. People think discipline restricts them, but the opposite is true. The more disciplined your mind, the freer you become. Freedom is not the absence of rules, it's mastery of self. When you control your focus, you're no longer a slave to distraction, impulse, or emotion. You move through life with clarity and confidence. You stop reacting and start creating. That's true freedom. Each morning is an opportunity to build this strength. Wake up with intention. Before touching your phone, set your mental tone for the day. Take a few moments to breathe deeply and remind yourself of your purpose. Ask, "What deserves my attention today?" Then move with clarity. Discipline begins in the small choices, the decision to rise early, to keep your promises, to stay present in each task. Those choices accumulate. Over time, they create a mind that no longer crumbles under pressure. Building unshakable focus is not about being perfect. It's about progress. Some days you'll feel sharp and centered. Other days you'll feel restless and distracted. Both are part of the journey. The key is to return, again and again, to your intention. Every return strengthens your mind. Every moment of awareness is a victory. The world is full of noise, but the mind you train through discipline becomes a place of silence and strength. When everyone else is scattered, you stay centered. When others chase comfort, you choose growth. When life throws uncertainty, you respond with clarity. That is the power of a focused mind. It's not built in a day, it's built every day. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start where you are. Begin with small daily acts of focus. Stay consistent. Discipline is not about doing everything perfectly, it's about doing something consistently. Over time, those small wins accumulate. They build momentum. They create transformation. Focus is not only about doing more, it's about doing less with greater intention. When you simplify your life, your energy amplifies. Identify what drains your attention and remove it. Choose your priorities wisely. Give your full self to what truly matters. That's how you build a life of purpose and clarity. The person who trains their mind daily becomes unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because they get stronger. Focus sharpens your spirit. It gives you power in silence. It teaches you patience, persistence, and self-mastery. The mind you discipline becomes your greatest strength, the one thing no challenge can break. In the end, focus is not about controlling everything around you. It's about mastering everything within you. The world will always be noisy. Distractions will never disappear. But through daily mental discipline, you learn to rise above them. You learn to act with intention instead of impulse, to stay calm when things fall apart, to finish what you start, and to keep your energy aligned with your purpose. Build unshakable focus through daily mental discipline. It's not a practice for a week or a month. It's a lifelong commitment to mastery. The mind you train each day becomes the foundation for every victory ahead. Stay consistent. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Because the strongest minds are not born, they're trained, one disciplined day at a time. Chapter 2: Strengthen your mindset by mastering self-control every day. Self-control is the quiet strength that separates progress from chaos. It is the skill that allows you to choose action over impulse, patience over frustration, and purpose over distraction. Without it, even the most intelligent person can waste their potential, reacting to every emotion and losing sight of what truly matters. But when you learn to master self-control, you begin to lead your mind instead of following it. Every decision becomes deliberate, every response intentional, and every challenge an opportunity to grow stronger from within. Mastering self-control begins with understanding that your emotions, urges, and thoughts are not commands, they are signals. Most people react instantly to how they feel. They get angry and lash out. They feel bored and reach for their phone. They feel doubt and stop trying. This automatic response keeps the mind weak and dependent on temporary feelings. Self-control means creating space between emotion and action. It means learning to pause before reacting, to breathe before deciding, and to question before surrendering to an impulse. In that small space of awareness, power is born. When you pause, you give yourself the gift of choice. You can decide whether your reaction aligns with your goals or contradicts them. You can decide whether your next action reflects strength or weakness. The pause is the moment when self-control begins. It transforms every situation, from arguments to decisions, into a chance to act with purpose instead of emotion. The strongest people in life are not those who feel nothing. They are those who feel everything but remain calm and steady through it. Self-control is built through small daily acts. It is not developed in moments of peace, but in moments of temptation. Every time you resist an unhelpful urge, you train your mind. When you wake up and choose to start your day, instead of hitting the snooze button, you strengthen discipline. When you say no to procrastination and focus on your work, you strengthen consistency. When you stop yourself from speaking out of anger, you strengthen patience. Every decision to hold yourself back from an impulse is like lifting a mental weight. The more often you lift it, the stronger your will becomes. Your environment plays a powerful role in developing self-control. If you constantly surround yourself with temptations, your willpower will eventually weaken. The disciplined person does not rely on willpower alone. They design their surroundings to support their goals. Keep your space organized. Remove unnecessary distractions. Replace habits that drain you with ones that empower you. When you make good decisions easy and bad decisions hard, you create a life that supports your self-control instead of testing it every moment. Mastering your mindset through self-control also means learning to manage your inner voice. The way you speak to yourself determines how you respond to challenges. If your mind is filled with excuses and doubts, self-control will always feel like a battle. But when your thoughts are guided by clarity and conviction, your actions align naturally with your purpose. Train your inner dialogue to reinforce discipline. When temptation arises, remind yourself of your higher goals. When you feel discouraged, speak words of strength and perseverance. Your self-talk shapes your self-control. There is a moment in every day when you must decide who is in charge, you or your emotions. The mind without discipline follows comfort, but the mind with self-control follows direction. Comfort keeps you stagnant, direction keeps you growing. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your identity as someone who acts with purpose. Over time, these small victories create unshakable confidence. You begin to trust yourself because you know you will do what needs to be done, not just what feels easy. Self-control also means learning to manage your energy wisely. Your focus, motivation, and patience all depend on your mental and physical state. When you are exhausted, your willpower weakens. When you are constantly overstimulated, your ability to stay calm fades. Build a lifestyle that supports clarity, get enough rest, eat foods that energize you, and take breaks before burnout hits. Self-control thrives in a balanced mind and body. You cannot control your emotions if you neglect your well-being. Caring for your physical health is a form of discipline that strengthens your mental resilience. Patience is another cornerstone of self-control. The modern world teaches instant gratification, but growth happens slowly. Learning to delay rewards is the mark of mental maturity. When you resist the urge for immediate pleasure in exchange for long-term fulfillment, you develop strength that few people possess. Every time you wait when you could rush, or persevere when you could quit, you are building endurance. The ability to wait without frustration, to work without visible results, and to believe without proof, that is true control over the self. Emotional control is the highest form of strength. Anyone can act calm when life is easy, but true mastery is staying composed when everything goes wrong. When anger, fear, or frustration rise, self-control means staying grounded. It means noticing your feelings, but not letting them dictate your response. You can acknowledge pain without surrendering to it. You can face uncertainty without losing direction. This ability transforms challenges into lessons. Every emotional storm becomes another opportunity to train your calmness. Developing self-control also requires you to understand your triggers. Everyone has patterns that lead to impulsive behavior, people, situations, or emotions that cause you to lose balance. Learn to recognize them early. Observe what leads you toward distraction, conflict, or procrastination. Once you know your triggers, you can prepare for them. You can decide in advance how you will respond instead of reacting in the moment. Awareness turns weakness into strategy. Accountability reinforces self-control. When you hold yourself responsible for your actions, you develop integrity. Keep promises to yourself, even when no one is watching. When you say you will do something, follow through. Every commitment you honor builds self-respect. Each time you fail to follow through, you weaken that trust. Self-control is not about being perfect, it's about being honest. If you fall short, acknowledge it, learn from it, and recommit. The willingness to take ownership without excuses is the mark of a disciplined mind. Another key to mastering self-control is simplifying your life. The more choices you face each day, the more your mental energy drains. Decision fatigue is real, it weakens discipline. Create routines for daily habits so your mind is free to focus on what matters most. Eat similar healthy meals, follow consistent work blocks, and set fixed times for rest. The simpler your daily structure, the stronger your self-control becomes because you eliminate unnecessary decisions that wear you down. One powerful exercise to strengthen self-control is intentional discomfort. Choose one small challenge every day that requires restraint. It could be fasting for a few hours, finishing a task before checking your phone, or holding silence when you want to speak. These acts of restraint expand your capacity to endure discomfort. The goal is not to punish yourself, but to train your ability to stay calm in difficulty. When you learn to control yourself in small moments, you prepare to stay composed in greater challenges. Self-control transforms how you experience time. When you control your impulses, you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You no longer rush through your days, chasing instant pleasures. You begin to act with patience and foresight. You make choices your future self will thank you for. Life becomes simpler, not because challenges disappear, but because your mind stops creating chaos. You begin to experience peace in the middle of pressure. People often think freedom means doing whatever they want, but true freedom comes from mastering yourself. The person who cannot control their emotions, habits, or attention is not free. They are controlled by their impulses. The one who practices self-control, however, becomes free to choose. They can work with focus, love with patience, and live with purpose. That freedom creates power, and that power builds confidence. Every act of self-control is a message to your mind that you are in charge. Each time you choose purpose over impulse, you strengthen the identity of discipline. Over time, this becomes automatic. The same situations that once triggered you no longer have power. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop drifting and start directing. Self-control becomes who you are, not just something you practice. To strengthen your mindset, commit to mastering self-control every day. You will not be perfect, but perfection is not the goal, progress is. There will be moments when you lose patience, moments when you react too quickly or give in to distraction. Those moments are not failures, they are opportunities to learn. The more aware you become, the more control you gain. Growth happens through awareness, repetition, and honesty. Every day offers 100 chances to practice. Every temptation, delay, or challenge is a small test of strength. Approach each one with calm awareness. Breathe deeply before reacting. Choose clarity over impulse. Each decision shapes the mind you are building. Over weeks and months, you will notice the change. You will feel more grounded, more balanced, more powerful. Self-control becomes a quiet force guiding your every move. When your mind learns to obey your higher values instead of your emotions, you become unshakable. Life will still test you, but you will meet every test with calm and focus. That is the reward of mastering self-control. It gives you power not over others, but over yourself. And once you master yourself, there is nothing you cannot overcome. Chapter 3: Develop emotional balance to stay calm under pressure. Emotional balance is the art of staying steady in an unsteady world. It is the ability to remain centered when everything around you feels chaotic. Life will test you in unexpected ways. People will disappoint you, plans will fall apart, and circumstances will challenge your patience and composure. In those moments, emotional balance becomes your greatest power. It allows you to think clearly, act wisely, and stay grounded no matter how intense the storm becomes. Emotional balance is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery of feeling without losing control. To develop emotional balance, you must first understand that emotions are natural and necessary. They are not your enemies, they are signals from your mind, guiding you toward awareness. Anger, fear, sadness, excitement, each emotion carries information. Anger shows where your boundaries were crossed. Fear points to what matters to you. Sadness reflects what you value. Excitement shows what inspires you. Emotional balance begins when you stop fighting your emotions and start listening to them without being ruled by them. When you resist emotions, they grow stronger. When you observe them calmly, they lose their power. The goal is not to suppress how you feel, but to direct your emotional energy with intelligence. This requires awareness. When you feel pressure rising inside you, pause and notice what is happening. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? That question turns chaos into clarity. It creates space between your reaction and your response. In that space, peace can exist. People often assume that calmness comes from external stability, but it does not. Calmness is an internal discipline. It comes from building a mind that does not depend on outside circumstances for peace. Emotional balance grows when you stop expecting life to always go your way. When you accept that challenges are part of existence, pressure loses its grip on you. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "How can I handle this wisely?" That shift in focus transforms stress into strength. The more you practice emotional awareness, the less reactive you become. Every reaction drains your mental energy. When you respond with balance, you conserve strength for what truly matters. Emotional balance turns you into a steady presence in a world full of noise. People who lack it are easily influenced by situations. They rise and fall with every emotion. But those who have trained their emotional balance stay composed. They can think under pressure, act with intention, and lead with calmness. Breathing is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for maintaining emotional balance. When pressure builds, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid, which signals your body to stay tense. By taking slow, deliberate breaths, you send a message to your mind that you are safe and in control. This simple act can immediately shift your emotional state. In moments of anger, fear, or anxiety, take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it briefly, and release it slowly. With each breath, your body calms, your mind clears, and your emotions settle. Developing emotional balance also means understanding your triggers. Everyone has situations that provoke stronger emotions: criticism, failure, rejection, or uncertainty. The key is to become aware of what triggers you and why. Triggers are opportunities to grow. When something provokes you, it reveals an area within you that still needs healing or understanding. Instead of reacting defensively, use it as feedback. Ask, what is this moment teaching me about myself? Awareness turns emotional pain into progress. Another powerful way to build balance is through perspective. Pressure feels heavier when you view problems as permanent. Emotional balance grows when you remind yourself that everything is temporary. No emotion, no failure, no challenge lasts forever. When you remember this, you stop treating every difficulty like a disaster. You start responding with patience and wisdom. Perspective turns emotional turbulence into manageable moments. Gratitude is another stabilizing force for emotional balance. When life feels overwhelming, the mind tends to focus on what is wrong. Gratitude shifts your attention to what is right. It grounds you in the present moment. Even during stressful times, there are things to appreciate: a lesson learned, a person who cares, a new opportunity hidden in difficulty. The act of recognizing what you have strengthens your emotional foundation. A grateful mind cannot be easily shaken. Self-talk plays a major role in maintaining composure. The words you speak to yourself either calm or agitate your mind. When under pressure, avoid fueling emotions with thoughts like, "I can't handle this," or "This is too much." Replace them with steady reminders: "I am capable. I will get through this. This feeling will pass." These affirmations anchor you in self-control. The voice in your mind becomes your guide through intensity instead of your source of panic. Emotional balance does not mean you never feel strong emotions. It means you manage them consciously. For example, when anger arises, don't suppress it or explode with it. Instead, pause, observe it. Understand what caused it, then choose a response that reflects your strength rather than your frustration. When sadness appears, allow yourself to feel it, but also remind yourself that healing comes with time. Each emotion, when acknowledged without resistance, becomes easier to navigate. To stay calm under pressure, you must learn to trust yourself. Uncertainty creates anxiety, and anxiety grows when you doubt your ability to handle what's in front of you. Remind yourself of your resilience. You've survived challenges before, and you'll survive this one too. Confidence is built through experience. Each time you stay calm in a difficult moment, you prove to yourself that you can handle pressure. Over time, that inner trust becomes unbreakable. Another key element of emotional balance is detachment from outcomes. Pressure often comes from wanting to control results. But not everything is under your control. You can control your effort, your attitude, and your choices, but not always the outcome. When you focus on what you can control and release what you can't, your emotional balance strengthens. This mindset allows you to act effectively without being crushed by uncertainty. Relationships are one of the greatest tests of emotional balance. People will challenge your patience and test your calmness. In those moments, remember that your peace is your responsibility. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. Choose understanding over argument. Choose silence over reaction when words will only escalate tension. Emotional maturity means protecting your inner calm even when others lose theirs. Routine also supports balance. When your daily life has rhythm and structure, your emotions stay steadier. Set regular times for rest, work, and reflection. Take care of your body through movement and proper nutrition. Emotional chaos often grows from physical neglect. When you feel tired, hungry, or overstimulated, your reactions intensify. Stability in your habits leads to stability in your emotions. To deepen your balance, practice reflection. At the end of each day, spend a few moments reviewing your emotional responses. Ask yourself when you stayed calm and when you lost your balance. Without judgment, study your patterns. Awareness is progress. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Over time, you'll begin to recognize emotional triggers faster and respond with greater stability. Forgiveness is another sign of emotional strength. Holding on to anger or resentment keeps your emotions unstable. When you forgive, you are not excusing someone's actions. You are freeing yourself from emotional weight. You stop giving your energy to pain that no longer serves you. Forgiveness creates peace, and peace sustains balance. One of the deepest truths about emotional balance is that it grows through adversity. Calmness is easy when everything goes right. Real balance is tested when nothing goes as planned. When pressure builds, remind yourself that this is your training ground. Each challenge is an opportunity to practice control, patience, and resilience. Pressure is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It shapes the strength of your mind and the depth of your calm. Developing emotional balance does not happen overnight. It is a continuous practice of awareness, acceptance, and control. Every difficult situation is a chance to reinforce your stability. The more you practice, the more naturally balance becomes your default state. Over time, emotional storms that once overwhelmed you will barely move you. You will think more clearly, act more wisely, and live more peacefully. When you build emotional balance, you stop being a prisoner of circumstance. You become unshakable inside, no matter how unstable the outside world becomes. Calmness becomes your power, not your weakness. It allows you to face challenges with grace, communicate with empathy, and live with quiet confidence. Life will continue to test you, but your emotions will no longer control you. You will walk through chaos with composure and meet pressure with peace. That is the strength of a balanced mind. It stays calm not because the world is easy, but because it has mastered itself. Chapter 40. Train your thoughts to stay positive in challenges. A positive mind is not one that ignores reality, but one that chooses strength and clarity when life becomes difficult. Every challenge you face presents two paths, one that leads toward defeat through negative thinking, and one that leads toward growth through conscious optimism. Training your thoughts to stay positive does not mean pretending that everything is fine. It means developing the mental discipline to direct your focus toward what you can control, to find meaning in adversity, and to believe that every experience can be used to make you stronger. The mind is a constant stream of thoughts, most of them automatic. When you face problems, those automatic thoughts tend to turn negative. The mind predicts failure, imagines the worst outcomes, and repeats fears like a broken record. These thoughts create emotional weight and drain your energy before you even take action. The first step to training your mind toward positivity is awareness. You must learn to catch those negative patterns the moment they begin. Notice the tone of your inner dialogue. Pay attention to the words you use when talking to yourself. Awareness gives you the power to interrupt and redirect. Without awareness, your mind will continue to follow old patterns that no longer serve you. Once you become aware of negative thinking, challenge it. Ask yourself whether the thought you are having is true, helpful, or productive. Many of your negative thoughts are assumptions, not facts. They are fears disguised as truth. When you question them, you weaken their influence. Replace, "I can't handle this," with, "I'm capable of finding a way." Replace, "Everything is going wrong," with, "This is difficult, but I can adapt." Every time you consciously reframe a negative thought, you are training your mind to look for solutions instead of problems. Positivity in challenges is not blind optimism. It is realistic confidence. It is the ability to recognize difficulty and still choose hope. Life will not always go according to your expectations, but your mindset determines whether you grow or collapse. A trained mind looks at obstacles and sees lessons. It sees opportunities to strengthen patience, creativity, and persistence. The untrained mind sees the same obstacle and only feels defeat. The difference is not in the situation but in perception. Your thoughts influence your emotions, and your emotions influence your actions. When your thoughts are negative, you feel powerless, tense, and fearful. These emotions lead to hesitation and avoidance. When your thoughts are positive and grounded, you feel energized and capable, which leads to action and progress. This is why positive thinking is not just emotional, it is practical. It affects how you move through the world. When you choose positive thoughts, you create momentum. You give yourself the strength to keep going even when things are uncertain. One way to train your mind to stay positive is to practice mental redirection. Whenever you catch yourself focusing on what's wrong, deliberately shift your attention to what's right. Even in difficult moments, there is something good, a lesson learned, a person who supports you, or the fact that you're still standing. This shift in focus doesn't erase problems, but it keeps your energy aligned with growth. Dwelling on negativity drains your mental stamina, while gratitude fuels it. The more often you redirect your mind, the faster positivity becomes your default response. Another powerful method is visualization. The mind responds to what it imagines as strongly as it does to reality. Instead of replaying fears of failure, visualize yourself handling challenges successfully. See yourself remaining calm, thinking clearly, and finding solutions. Imagine the feeling of confidence and relief that follows. This kind of mental rehearsal conditions your brain to associate difficulty with strength, not defeat. Over time, you begin to believe that you can endure anything, and that belief transforms how you respond to real obstacles. Surrounding yourself with positive influences also strengthens your mental resilience. The people and environments you expose yourself to shape your mindset. Negative conversations and constant complaints drain motivation. Spend time with people who inspire optimism and action. Read books, listen to content, and engage with ideas that build strength rather than fear. The mind absorbs what it consumes, so feed it words and experiences that uplift you. A strong environment supports a strong mindset. When facing challenges, practice acceptance. Positivity is not about denying pain, but about accepting it without letting it define you. Resistance creates suffering. When you fight reality, your thoughts spiral into frustration. Acceptance brings calmness. It allows you to use your energy for progress rather than resistance. Tell yourself, this is where I am right now. I may not like it, but I can handle it. That simple acceptance removes emotional chaos and makes space for clarity. Your language shapes your mindset. The words you use, both spoken and internal, influence how you perceive the world. Instead of saying, I'm stuck, say, I'm learning. Instead of saying, this is impossible, say, this will take effort. Subtle changes in language reshape your emotional state. The more empowering your words, the more resilient your thoughts become. Positive language creates positive energy, and that energy sustains you during challenges. To keep your thoughts positive, practice daily reflection. At the end of each day, review your mindset. Ask yourself when you stayed positive and when you allowed negativity to take over. Write down moments of gratitude and small victories. Reflection transforms experience into wisdom. It helps you recognize patterns and strengthen your awareness for the next challenge. Over time, your thoughts will become naturally aligned with resilience and confidence. Maintaining a positive mindset under pressure also requires patience. The mind will not transform overnight. Negative thinking habits are deeply ingrained, built over years of conditioning. Be patient with yourself as you retrain your mind. Progress will come through repetition and consistency. Each time you replace a negative thought with a constructive one, you're rewiring your brain. The effort may feel small in the moment, but over time it creates profound change. Perspective is a powerful weapon against negativity. Every challenge looks different depending on how you view it. What feels unbearable today may one day be the story of your greatest growth. When facing hardship, step back and look at the bigger picture. Ask yourself how this experience might strengthen you or teach you something valuable. Perspective transforms suffering into purpose. When your mind finds meaning in pain, it becomes easier to remain positive. Another key to positive thinking is focusing on progress rather than perfection. Negativity often arises from unrealistic expectations. When you expect flawless outcomes, every mistake feels like failure. A positive mindset celebrates small wins. It recognizes effort, growth, and persistence. Focusing on progress keeps motivation alive even when results come slowly. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof of resilience. Your physical state also affects your thoughts. When your body is tense or tired, negativity rises more easily. Maintain balance through movement, rest, and proper nutrition. Exercise releases energy and clears mental fog. Adequate sleep restores emotional stability. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. Positivity requires energy, and energy thrives in a well-cared-for body. Training your thoughts to stay positive also means letting go of comparison. Constantly measuring your progress against others breeds negativity. Everyone's journey moves at its own pace. Focus on your own path, your own growth, your own lessons. When you compare less, you appreciate more. Appreciation strengthens gratitude, and gratitude strengthens optimism. Challenges are not obstacles to positivity, they are opportunities to practice it. Every difficult moment is a chance to apply what you've learned. When life tests you, remind yourself that this is training. Each hardship is sharpening your mental resilience. You are not breaking, you are being shaped into someone stronger, wiser, and calmer. This mindset transforms pain into power. Positivity under pressure does not come from pretending everything is fine. It comes from trusting that you have what it takes to handle whatever comes next. It is a quiet confidence that whispers, "I've faced difficulty before, and I will rise again." This inner trust allows you to move through challenges with grace. It keeps you steady when others crumble. To maintain a positive mindset, you must also forgive yourself. Negative thinking often grows from guilt and self-criticism. Learn to release the weight of past mistakes. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Growth means acknowledging your imperfections without letting them define you. Self-forgiveness clears mental space for optimism and peace. As you train your thoughts, remember that positivity is a lifelong discipline. It is a daily choice, not a one-time decision. There will be days when your mind drifts back to negativity. That's not failure, it's part of the process. What matters is your response. Each time you catch yourself and redirect your thoughts, you reinforce your strength. Over time, positivity becomes natural, not forced. When you learn to think positively in challenges, you unlock a deeper kind of power. You no longer depend on circumstances for happiness. You carry calmness and faith within you, no matter what happens outside you. Challenges will still come, but they will no longer define you. Your mind will stay steady, your spirit hopeful, and your actions purposeful. That is the essence of a trained mind. It stays positive not because life is easy, but because it has learned how to see light even in the darkest moments. Chapter 50. Create unstoppable confidence through consistent inner work. Confidence is not something you are born with, it is something you build piece by piece through deliberate effort and inner work. True confidence is quiet, steady, and rooted in self-awareness. It does not shout or seek approval. It comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and how far you have come. When confidence grows from within, no failure, rejection, or opinion can shake it. This kind of strength is not achieved overnight. It is the result of consistent mental and emotional training. Every day, you build it through small choices that honor your values, sharpen your mindset, and reinforce your belief in yourself. To create unstoppable confidence, you must first understand that it comes from truth, not illusion. Many people try to appear confident by acting bold on the outside while feeling insecure inside. That kind of confidence is fragile, it crumbles under pressure. Real confidence is built through honesty, acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses. When you see yourself clearly, without exaggeration or self-judgment, you gain the power to grow. Confidence begins when you stop pretending and start improving. Inner work means turning your attention inward to understand your thoughts, emotions, and patterns. It requires courage because it exposes the areas where you have been hiding from yourself. But growth only happens when you face those truths directly. Reflect on how you think about yourself. Do your thoughts empower you or limit you? Do you see challenges as opportunities or as threats? The mind's beliefs shape every action. Confidence grows when you replace self-doubt with self-trust, when you stop questioning whether you can and start focusing on how you will. One of the most powerful steps in building confidence is keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and follow through, you strengthen your trust in yourself. Every broken promise weakens it. It could be as simple as waking up at the time you said you would, finishing a workout, or completing a task you've been avoiding. These small victories build an internal record of reliability. The more consistent you are with your word, the more your subconscious begins to believe, I can depend on myself. That belief is the foundation of unstoppable confidence. Another key aspect of inner work is learning to manage your self-talk. The mind constantly speaks, and the words it uses shape how you feel. Confidence cannot grow in a mind that constantly criticizes itself. Begin to replace harsh judgment with supportive, realistic encouragement. When you make a mistake, don't tell yourself that you've failed. Remind yourself that you're learning. When you face something unfamiliar, don't say you're unprepared. Tell yourself you are capable of figuring it out. The language you use determines the energy you carry. Speak to yourself the way you would to someone you deeply respect. Comparison is one of the biggest threats to confidence. The more you measure yourself against others, the weaker your sense of worth becomes. No two journeys are identical. What looks like someone's success is often the result of years of struggle you cannot see. Shift your focus from comparison to progress. Ask yourself, am I improving from where I was yesterday? When you compete only with your past self, confidence becomes sustainable. You stop needing validation and start finding motivation in your own growth. Self-confidence also grows through preparation. When you dedicate yourself to mastery, your skill reinforces your belief in your ability. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for, it's a result of consistent effort. When you practice, study, and refine your craft every day, your competence builds quiet assurance. You don't need to tell yourself you're confident. You know it because you've earned it. Inner work means showing up consistently even when no one is watching, trusting that every effort is strengthening your foundation. Facing fear is another critical part of developing inner strength. Confidence does not mean the absence of fear, it means moving forward despite it. Fear is a signal that growth is near. When you step into the unknown and act anyway, you prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort. Each time you confront fear, it loses power over you. Over time, your comfort zone expands, and challenges that once intimidated you become opportunities you welcome. Courage and confidence grow together. They are built through repeated experiences of choosing action over hesitation. Self-respect is the core of unshakable confidence. When you live according to your principles, you naturally feel stronger. Integrity gives you a quiet authority that cannot be faked. Each time you do what is right rather than what is easy, your respect for yourself deepens. You cannot feel truly confident if your actions conflict with your values. Align your behavior with your beliefs. Stand by your truth even when it's inconvenient. Confidence built on integrity does not depend on circumstances, it becomes who you are. Developing unstoppable confidence also means accepting imperfection. The pursuit of perfection often creates fear and hesitation. Confidence grows when you allow yourself to be human, when you accept mistakes as part of progress. The people who achieve great things are not those who never fail, but those who do not let failure define them. Each mistake is a lesson that refines your character. When you view setbacks as information rather than identity, you stay resilient. Confidence is built not from constant success, but from the ability to recover quickly when things go wrong. Gratitude is another powerful tool for building confidence. When you appreciate your journey, your energy shifts from lack to abundance. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you recognize what you've already achieved. Gratitude grounds you in the present and reminds you that you have the resources to handle what's ahead. It keeps your confidence humble and your ambition clear. Confidence also grows through service. When you use your strengths to help others, your sense of purpose expands. You realize that your growth is not just for you, it contributes to something greater. Acts of kindness and contribution remind you of your value beyond external success. They create a deeper sense of meaning that strengthens your self-belief. Physical presence affects inner confidence as well. Your posture, breathing, and movement influence your state of mind. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with intention, your body signals to your brain that you are in control. Practice being aware of how you carry yourself. Small adjustments in how you hold your body can shift your mental state from uncertainty to assurance. Reflection is essential in inner work. Take time regularly to review your growth. Notice how your thoughts, reactions, and behaviors have evolved. Celebrate progress without arrogance. Self-reflection allows you to stay aware of both your strengths and your areas for improvement. Confidence grows in those who are honest about their growth, not those who believe they have nothing left to learn. To maintain confidence, you must also protect your energy. Negative influences, toxic relationships, and draining environments erode self-belief. Surround yourself with people who encourage your potential and challenge you to grow. Protect your mental space from unnecessary drama or gossip. Confidence thrives in environments that nurture clarity and peace. Another important part of inner work is learning to forgive yourself. Self-blame keeps you stuck in guilt, unable to move forward. Forgiveness releases mental weight and restores self-trust. When you forgive yourself for past choices, you free your energy to focus on the present. Every moment becomes a new opportunity to rebuild. Consistency is what transforms inner work into lasting confidence. You cannot build strength through occasional effort. It grows through repetition, through the daily commitment to show up, reflect, and improve. Each day you invest in your growth, you reinforce your inner foundation. Confidence becomes a habit, not a mood. When you create unstoppable confidence, you no longer depend on praise to feel worthy. You stop chasing validation because you already know your value. You speak with conviction, not arrogance. You take risks without fear of judgment. You lead with calm certainty. This kind of confidence attracts respect because it comes from authenticity. The journey of building confidence is not about becoming someone new. It is about uncovering who you have always been beneath the noise of doubt. Through consistent inner work, you reconnect with your natural strength and clarity. You begin to live with purpose and move with self-assurance. The more you practice awareness, discipline, and honesty, the more unstoppable your confidence becomes. It is not built in a day, but it lasts a lifetime, because it is built on truth, effort, and the unwavering belief that you are capable of becoming your strongest self. Chapter 16. Master your reactions to handle any tough situation. Every person faces moments when life pushes hard, when pressure mounts, and when circumstances seem overwhelming. In those moments, the difference between someone who moves forward and someone who collapses is not luck or skill. It is the ability to control their reactions. Mastering your reactions is not about suppressing emotion or pretending everything is fine. It is about creating the space between stimulus and response, the space where your power resides. How you respond to difficulties determines whether they break you or build you. Every tough situation is an opportunity to exercise this control, and the stronger you become at managing your responses, the more resilient and effective you are in life. Reactions are immediate and often automatic, but they can be trained. Most people act on impulse. When something unexpected happens, they respond with frustration, panic, or anger before their mind has a chance to process the event. These automatic responses usually worsen the situation, creating more stress and conflict. The first step in mastering reactions is noticing them. Awareness of your impulses allows you to pause, even briefly, and choose a more intentional response. That pause is where your power lies, and it can transform the way you handle pressure. When you pause before responding, you allow reason to take the lead. Reason does not eliminate emotion, but it channels it constructively. Anger can become assertiveness, anxiety can become careful planning, fear can become cautious courage. The mind that reacts without thinking is at the mercy of circumstances. The mind that masters its reactions shapes circumstances into opportunity. Mastery of responses is the foundation of resilience because it ensures that your energy is applied effectively, not wasted on unnecessary conflict or stress. A practical step in mastering reactions is learning to breathe deliberately in moments of tension. Physical responses often precede emotional control. When you take a slow, deep breath, you activate the nervous system's calming response. This simple act interrupts the body's automatic fight or flight reaction and allows clarity to emerge. Practice breathing intentionally whenever you feel tension rising, and you begin to condition your mind to remain composed under pressure. Over time, your body responds calmly even when your mind faces high intensity. Another important aspect is detachment from immediate outcomes. When your sense of self-worth or security depends on instant results, pressure becomes unbearable. Mastery of reactions comes when you act with integrity, effort, and purpose regardless of immediate feedback. Focus on what you can control: your attitude, your actions, your effort. Release attachment to things beyond your influence. The more you separate your response from external outcomes, the more stable your reactions become, and the more capable you are under pressure. Emotional self-awareness is essential in this process. Recognize the triggers that tend to provoke strong reactions. Some situations elicit anger, others anxiety, and some fear. Observe without judgment and ask why the reaction arises. Understanding the root of your impulses allows you to anticipate them and respond thoughtfully. The stronger your awareness, the less likely you are to be controlled by emotion. Awareness turns chaos into clarity. Preparation strengthens response. Life is unpredictable, but you can anticipate recurring challenges and mentally rehearse how you will respond. Visualize yourself encountering difficulties and practicing calm, effective actions. By rehearsing scenarios in your mind, you create neural pathways that make composed reactions more natural. Preparation reduces the power of surprise and increases your confidence in handling adversity. Practicing gratitude also supports mastery of reactions. When confronted with stress, it is easy to fixate on what is wrong, which intensifies negative responses. Shifting your focus to what is working or what you have achieved stabilizes your emotional state. Gratitude does not ignore difficulties. It strengthens your perspective, allowing you to respond rather than react. A mind trained in gratitude is less prone to impulsive behavior and more capable of constructive action. Reactions are also shaped by physical resilience. High stress can overwhelm a fatigued, depleted, or malnourished body. Maintaining energy, sleep, and health ensures your mind functions at its best when challenged. When your body is prepared, your reactions are deliberate rather than reflexive. A disciplined body supports a disciplined mind, and together they create a foundation for calm and strategic action. Communication is a test of reaction mastery. Under pressure, many people respond with defensiveness or aggression. Those who have trained themselves pause, listen, and speak deliberately. They respond in ways that de-escalate tension rather than intensify it. Mastery of reactions is not only an internal skill, it shows in the way you influence situations around you. Clear, calm communication under stress demonstrates leadership and emotional intelligence. Mindset is crucial. When you view challenges as threats, reactions tend toward fear and frustration. When you view challenges as opportunities to grow, reactions shift toward curiosity and problem solving. The perspective you adopt determines the quality of your response. A resilient mind interprets difficulty as a chance to practice strength, patience, and creativity, and it responds accordingly. Practice in small moments builds mastery for large ones. Daily frustrations, minor conflicts, and inconveniences are opportunities to train your reactions. Every time you choose patience over impulse, understanding over defensiveness, and composure over panic, you are strengthening the mental pathways that allow you to remain steady when stakes are high. Mastery is developed incrementally, not in sudden crises. Self-discipline reinforces calm response. When you consistently choose thoughtful action in ordinary moments, you reduce the likelihood of being hijacked by emotion in extreme ones. Habits of self-control create an internal environment where reactions are intentional. Each time you act deliberately, you reinforce the neural pathways that make calmness your default state. Perspective also guides reactions. Recognizing the temporary nature of most challenges allows you to respond with less intensity. Few situations are life-ending, and most difficulties are manageable. When your mind keeps perspective, you act with rationality instead of panic. Perspective transforms stress from a paralyzing force into a motivating signal. Mastering reactions also requires forgiveness, both of yourself and others. Mistakes happen, and people act imperfectly. Allowing resentment, frustration, or guilt to control your responses creates unnecessary emotional burden. By forgiving quickly, you maintain clarity and composure. Emotional freedom enhances your ability to act wisely under pressure. Reflection solidifies learning. After difficult moments, review how you responded. Identify moments where you acted effectively and where impulses led to unnecessary difficulty. Analyze without judgment and commit to improvement. Reflection ensures each challenge becomes a lesson rather than just a test. Confidence in your response grows with experience. Each time you handle pressure successfully, you reinforce the belief that you can manage future challenges. That trust in your ability to respond constructively creates a feedback loop of resilience. Challenges become less threatening because you know your reactions are under your control. Finally, mastery of reactions is a lifelong practice. Life will always present tests, but each test is an opportunity to strengthen your calm, clarity, and effectiveness. The more deliberate you are in managing responses, the more unshakable your presence becomes. You no longer react impulsively, you respond intentionally. You no longer let circumstances define your behavior. You define your behavior in every circumstance. This skill transforms pressure from a threat into a platform for growth, turning adversity into a training ground for unstoppable strength. Chapter 7. Practice daily gratitude to sharpen your mental strength. Gratitude is a simple practice with profound power. It is not about pretending that life is perfect, but about recognizing what is working, what you have, and the strength that exists even in difficult moments. Mental strength is built when the mind chooses to focus on abundance rather than lack, on lessons rather than complaints, and on progress rather than setbacks. Practicing gratitude every day rewires your thinking to notice possibilities instead of obstacles. It trains the mind to remain resilient, because when you appreciate what you have, stress and negativity lose their grip. Mental toughness grows in environments where focus is placed on growth, not loss, and gratitude is the lens through which this focus is refined. Daily gratitude begins with awareness. Many people move through their days absorbed in what is missing, unaware of what they already possess. Take a moment each morning to recognize at least 3 things that are present in your life that strengthen you. It could be your health, your ability to learn, the people who support you, or the opportunities in front of you. Writing them down anchors your attention. When gratitude becomes habitual, it shapes the mind to notice positive elements even in challenging circumstances. Gratitude strengthens perspective. When difficulties arise, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. By regularly practicing appreciation, you create a mental counterbalance. You start to see challenges not only as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Each moment of hardship is tempered by the recognition of what is still in place, what resources you still have, and what lessons you can extract. This perspective allows you to act from a position of strength rather than fear. The mind is a muscle, and gratitude is one of the most effective exercises for mental resilience. Just as lifting weight strengthens muscles, recognizing your advantages strengthens your capacity to endure pressure. Each time you remind yourself of what is positive in your life, your brain reinforces patterns of focus, awareness, and optimism. Over time, this builds a mental shield that reduces the impact of stress, criticism, and disappointment. Gratitude creates a foundation for stability that is difficult to shake. Gratitude also enhances emotional regulation. When you practice appreciation regularly, you reduce the intensity of negative emotions. Anger, envy, and frustration lose their urgency because the mind has been trained to notice what is valuable instead of what is missing. By focusing on what you can acknowledge and value, you retain composure and maintain clarity. Mental strength is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to manage it effectively, and gratitude is one of the strongest tools for achieving this balance. Daily rituals solidify the practice of gratitude. Begin and end each day with reflection. In the morning, consider what you are fortunate to experience today. In the evening, review what went well and acknowledge efforts that led to progress. These moments of deliberate attention create a rhythm of appreciation that strengthens mental resilience. Your brain begins to default toward recognizing good, even when stress is high. This habit transforms everyday experiences into constant opportunities for reinforcement. Gratitude can also be expressed outwardly. When you acknowledge the efforts and presence of others, you strengthen connections and reinforce positivity in your environment. Complimenting a colleague, thanking a friend, or appreciating a family member reinforces your own focus on value. Recognition of support and kindness in others creates a feedback loop that strengthens emotional and mental stability. Interpersonal gratitude amplifies your internal resilience because it reminds you that resources, help, and support are not isolated, they are present and accessible. Visualization strengthens the effect of gratitude. Imagine in vivid detail the people, experiences, and abilities you appreciate. Feel the benefits of these elements deeply. Visualizing what you are grateful for activates the same areas of the brain as experiencing them in real time. The mind begins to encode these positive associations, which strengthens neural pathways for resilience and optimism. When the brain is trained to focus on strength and abundance, mental toughness becomes easier to access under pressure. Gratitude also builds humility, which reinforces confidence without arrogance. Recognizing that you are supported by effort, guidance, and circumstance does not diminish your abilities, it stabilizes your self-perception. Humility ensures that your focus remains on growth rather than comparison. You become less reactive to criticism and more receptive to improvement. Emotional equilibrium and mental strength emerge naturally when pride is balanced by recognition of the forces contributing to your progress. Challenges present tests for gratitude. In difficult moments, it is easy to fixate on obstacles. By actively searching for what is still beneficial or instructive, you maintain control over your mindset. Each hardship becomes an opportunity to exercise gratitude intentionally. The more you practice during adversity, the more automatic your response becomes. This transforms stress into a training tool and reinforces a mindset that can handle any situation with composure. Mental strength grows from consistency. Gratitude is most effective when practiced daily, not sporadically. Even a few minutes each day can create significant change over time. The cumulative effect is a mind that notices opportunity, retains focus on constructive solutions, and sustains resilience. Habits of acknowledgement and reflection create a durable structure that strengthens decision-making, problem-solving, and emotional stability. Writing is an effective tool to anchor gratitude. Maintain a journal where you document moments, achievements, or aspects of your life that you value. Revisiting these entries reinforces mental patterns of awareness and appreciation. This documentation serves as a reminder during difficult times that progress, support, and resources have been present all along. A written record creates both accountability and reinforcement for your mental practices. Gratitude shifts the perception of control. By acknowledging what you do have influence over, you reinforce agency and diminish feelings of helplessness. Even small actions, acknowledging progress, appreciating efforts, or valuing moments of clarity, build internal confidence. Recognizing the elements of your life that respond to your attention strengthens your ability to act deliberately rather than reactively. Mental strength is cultivated by focusing on what can be shaped, not what cannot. Reflection on challenges amplifies the effects of gratitude. After a difficult situation, review what was present to help you endure it. Identify resources, lessons, and moments of resilience. Acknowledging these elements reinforces the idea that every obstacle contains tools for growth. Gratitude in reflection strengthens neural pathways that associate challenge with capability, increasing readiness for future stressors. Practicing gratitude also encourages acceptance. Recognizing what is positive in your current situation reduces resistance to reality. Acceptance does not imply passivity. It allows you to act from a grounded state rather than from frustration. When the mind focuses on what can be appreciated, energy previously consumed by resistance becomes available for strategic thinking and deliberate action. Sharing gratitude reinforces mental strength. Expressing appreciation verbally or through small gestures strengthens neural and social pathways. Acts of acknowledgement remind your mind that value exists in both internal and external elements. Sharing gratitude generates positivity that returns to you, reinforcing your focus on resilience, perspective, and mental control. Gratitude cultivates patience. Recognizing incremental progress and appreciating small gains reduces the urge for instant results. This perspective strengthens perseverance and reduces impulsive reactions. Patience nurtures the ability to remain composed during trials, and consistent practice of appreciation accelerates the internalization of this skill. By practicing gratitude daily, you create a mind that notices opportunities, retains perspective, and maintains composure under pressure. Life's challenges are unavoidable, but the way you interpret them determines their impact. A mind trained in recognition and appreciation interprets difficulty as manageable, growth-promoting, and temporary rather than overwhelming. This mental training strengthens resilience, sharpens focus, and ensures that every day contributes to ongoing personal development. Gratitude, when applied consistently, becomes an invisible armor. It does not remove difficulty, but it reduces its power to destabilize you. By acknowledging the value, progress, and resources already present, your mind strengthens its capacity to act decisively, respond calmly, and maintain clarity. Daily recognition of worth and opportunity fortifies resilience, focus, and adaptability. In every moment of attention, every reflection, and every expression of thanks, your mental strength grows, making you prepared to face challenges with steady determination and unwavering clarity. Chapter 80: Eliminate Negative Self-Talk to unlock your real power. Negative self-talk is one of the most destructive forces that silently erodes confidence, focus, and potential. It disguises itself as thought, blending into the background of your mind, yet it has the power to dictate behavior, limit ambition, and shape identity. Every time you tell yourself you are not good enough, that you will fail, or that you are incapable, your mind accepts these statements as truth unless challenged. Eliminating negative self-talk is not just a mental exercise, it is a profound act of reclaiming power over your life. It requires awareness, discipline, and the deliberate rewiring of your inner dialogue so that every thought supports growth rather than undermining it. The first step in overcoming negative self-talk is awareness. Most people are unaware of the subtle ways their mind criticizes, doubts, or undermines them. Pay close attention to your internal voice. Notice the moments when fear, doubt, or insecurity creeps in. Record these thoughts, even briefly, and examine their patterns. Awareness is essential because you cannot change what you do not recognize. Every negative statement, however small, is a signal that your mind is operating under limiting beliefs that need transformation. Once awareness is established, challenge the thoughts directly. Ask yourself if the statement is objectively true, if it is helpful, and if it serves your goals. Many negative thoughts are exaggerated assumptions or automatic fears. For example, when your mind says, "I will never succeed," counter it with evidence of past accomplishments or small victories that prove the statement is false. Challenging these thoughts gradually weakens their hold on your mental state. The mind begins to distinguish between constructive self-reflection and destructive self-criticism. Replace negative thoughts with empowering alternatives. This does not mean pretending problems do not exist, but reframing the internal conversation to reflect capability and progress. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," shift to, "I am learning how to handle this step by step." Instead of, "I always fail," say, "I have overcome challenges before and can do it again." The more consistently you replace destructive statements with affirming ones, the stronger your inner voice becomes, and the less power negativity has over your choices. Negative self-talk often thrives in moments of stress, fatigue, or uncertainty. Recognize these triggers and prepare strategies to counter them. Deep breathing, mental pausing, and refocusing on evidence of capability can interrupt the automatic spiral of doubt. By anticipating challenging moments, you train your mind to respond with strength rather than surrendering to negativity. Mastery of self-talk is not about eliminating thought entirely. It is about directing thought toward purpose, clarity, and confidence. The language you use shapes your reality. Words carry energy and influence neural pathways. When negative phrases dominate your inner dialogue, they create patterns that limit performance and resilience. Repeated affirmations of capability, intelligence, and perseverance reinforce pathways that strengthen focus, creativity, and problem-solving. Each word of encouragement, each realistic recognition of potential, reshapes your internal programming. Eliminating negative self-talk is the process of replacing harmful scripts with constructive, empowering narratives that guide action and growth. Understanding the origin of negative self-talk also strengthens your ability to overcome it. Many limiting thoughts are internalized messages from past experiences, criticism, or fear of judgment. Awareness of these roots allows you to separate your current identity from old conditioning. You are not the voice that doubts you. You are the observer capable of choosing how to respond. Recognizing that thoughts are not commands but observations empowers you to act independently of destructive patterns. Self-compassion is a critical tool in eliminating negativity. Harsh self-judgment feeds a cycle of doubt and defeat. Treat yourself with the same patience and encouragement you would offer a friend facing difficulty. Self-compassion does not excuse inaction, but creates a stable foundation from which growth is possible. When you respond to yourself with kindness and realism, negative self-talk loses its grip, and confidence strengthens naturally. Visualization strengthens the replacement of negative thoughts. Imagine yourself handling challenges successfully, speaking confidently, and acting decisively. Engage the senses fully, feel the calm, the energy, and the clarity that comes with competence. The mind struggles to distinguish vividly imagined success from potential reality. Practicing this daily reinforces the belief that you can act with purpose and control, gradually replacing doubt with self-assurance. Daily journaling is another effective method. Write down moments when negative self-talk arises and counter each statement with evidence, alternative perspectives, or action steps. The act of documenting forces clarity, externalizes harmful patterns, and reinforces accountability. Over time, the journal becomes a record of transformation, showing progress and providing tangible proof that your mind can be retrained. Accountability to others also strengthens the effort. Sharing intentions to address negative self-talk with a mentor, coach, or trusted peer creates an external reinforcement system. Others can offer perspective, encouragement, and feedback that counter the distortion of negative thoughts. While the internal work remains primary, external support accelerates the rewiring process and prevents relapse into destructive patterns. Small, consistent victories compound into profound change. Each time you recognize and redirect a negative thought, you strengthen mental resilience. Every deliberate choice to replace doubt with constructive dialogue reduces the frequency and intensity of destructive self-talk. Over time, the mind shifts from a place of restriction to one of potential. Confidence emerges not from luck or circumstance, but from the repeated practice of controlling your internal narrative. Physical routines support mental training. Exercise, proper rest, and nutrition influence brain chemistry and emotional stability. A fatigued or undernourished body is more susceptible to pessimism and doubt. Maintaining a healthy physical state complements the cognitive work of eliminating negative self-talk by stabilizing mood, energy, and focus. Body and mind work together to reinforce resilience and clarity. Repetition is key. Negative self-talk may arise for years without interruption, so persistent practice is necessary. Each day provides hundreds of opportunities to notice, challenge, and replace destructive thoughts. Through repetition, new thought patterns are solidified into habit. What once was automatic becomes intentional, and your mental environment transforms into one that consistently supports strength, courage, and achievement. External input also matters. Be mindful of media, conversations, and environments that reinforce negativity. Limit exposure to sources that perpetuate fear, doubt, or criticism. Surround yourself with people, ideas, and experiences that cultivate optimism, focus, and capability. Your mental environment is an extension of your inner dialogue, and curating it carefully supports the elimination of destructive thinking. The ultimate goal is empowerment. Each time negative self-talk is reduced, Space is created for authentic expression, creativity, and action. When the mind is no longer cluttered with doubt and fear, energy is available to pursue goals, solve problems, and embrace challenges. Your potential becomes more visible, more accessible, and more reliably acted upon. Eliminating negative self-talk is a lifelong process, not a one-time intervention. Even as new challenges arise, vigilance and practice ensure that your mind remains a tool for strength rather than a source of limitation. The more consistently you engage in inner work, the more automatic your positive internal dialogue becomes, creating a mental environment where confidence, clarity, and resilience are the default. True power is unlocked when your thoughts align with your potential. The moment you stop reinforcing doubt and start affirming capability, the mind becomes your ally instead of your critic. Every negative thought silenced strengthens focus, decision-making, and composure. Every positive thought reinforced builds momentum, courage, and perseverance. This deliberate mastery over self-talk transforms challenges into opportunities, setbacks into lessons, and uncertainty into strength. Your mind becomes not just a vessel for thought, but a tool of action, clarity, and unstoppable personal power. Chapter 90. Set clear goals to guide your mind towards success. Setting clear goals is the cornerstone of achieving lasting success because a mind without direction wanders, hesitates, and wastes energy. Goals act as a compass, guiding focus, energy, and decisions toward meaningful outcomes. Without defined objectives, effort becomes scattered and opportunities slip by unnoticed. Clear goals allow the mind to prioritize actions, measure progress, and stay motivated even when challenges arise. They create a framework in which your efforts produce tangible results rather than random motion. Establishing goals is not merely about listing desires, it is about designing a roadmap that aligns your thoughts, habits, and behaviors with your highest potential. The process begins with clarity. Know precisely what you want to achieve and why it matters. Vague intentions produce vague results. Ask yourself what success looks like in concrete terms, whether it is developing a skill, building a career, improving health, or strengthening relationships. The objective must be specific enough that you can visualize progress. Clear goals provide a target for the mind to aim at, reducing distractions and increasing purposeful action. The clearer the target, the sharper the focus becomes. Goals must also be meaningful. Achievements that are imposed externally or motivated solely by approval rarely sustain effort. When a goal resonates with your personal values and deeper purpose, it fuels persistence even in difficult circumstances. Motivation anchored in meaning strengthens resilience, sharpens decision-making, and prevents distraction. Knowing why a goal is important ensures that every action aligns with long-term growth rather than fleeting gratification. Breaking large goals into smaller, actionable steps is essential for consistent progress. Big objectives can feel overwhelming, causing procrastination or avoidance. By dividing them into manageable tasks, the mind can focus on immediate action while steadily moving toward the larger aim. Each small victory builds momentum, reinforces confidence, and demonstrates that the goal is achievable. Incremental steps transform ambition into execution, and execution builds results. A written record of goals reinforces commitment. Writing down objectives crystallizes thought and provides a reference for daily focus. Seeing goals regularly reminds the mind of priorities, directs energy, and holds you accountable. Journaling progress, challenges, and adjustments helps to maintain clarity and keeps the mind oriented toward achievement. Documentation is not bureaucratic, it is a reinforcement of purpose and an anchor for attention. Visualization strengthens goal alignment. Mentally rehearsing success, imagining the process and the final result, conditions the mind to operate as if progress is already underway. Visualization activates pathways associated with focus, confidence, and problem-solving. The mind begins to interpret opportunities and obstacles in ways that support the intended outcome. Repeated mental rehearsal creates readiness, reduces fear of failure, and strengthens commitment. Time management plays a critical role in pursuing goals. A clear objective without structured effort leads to wasted energy. Allocate time deliberately for tasks that advance the goal, minimize distractions, and establish routines that support consistency. Each day becomes a building block toward the ultimate objective. Structured time ensures that effort translates into measurable progress rather than random activity. Prioritization is equally important. Not all tasks carry equal weight in advancing your goals. Focus on high-impact actions that produce significant results. Learning to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important allows the mind to concentrate on meaningful effort rather than reactive business. Strategic prioritization maximizes efficiency and reduces wasted energy while reinforcing mental discipline. Flexibility is also necessary. Goals may need adjustment as circumstances evolve, but adaptation does not mean abandoning purpose. The mind that sets clear objectives while remaining responsive to reality maintains momentum without becoming rigid. Adaptability ensures resilience, allowing you to navigate obstacles while staying aligned with the intended outcome. Flexibility in pursuit enhances both mental strength and problem-solving capacity. Tracking progress builds momentum and accountability. Regularly evaluate what has been accomplished, identify obstacles, and adjust strategies accordingly. Concrete measurement of advancement reinforces belief in capability and strengthens determination. Observing growth over time encourages perseverance and motivates continued effort. Progress tracking transforms abstract intentions into visible achievements, reinforcing confidence and focus. Accountability enhances goal fulfillment. Sharing objectives with a mentor, coach, or supportive peer increases commitment and introduces constructive feedback. External perspective identifies blind spots and provides guidance for improvement. Knowing that others are aware of your goals increases consistency in action and reduces the likelihood of procrastination. Accountability strengthens both discipline and mental resolve. Positive reinforcement nurtures commitment. Celebrate milestones, acknowledge effort, and reward progress. Recognition reinforces the association between action and achievement, strengthening motivation. Small celebrations of success also build optimism, resilience, and confidence, making continued pursuit more sustainable. Reinforcement ensures that the mind remains energized and engaged throughout the journey. Goals also require alignment with personal habits and routines. Daily behaviors must support objectives consistently. A mind can envision great outcomes, but without aligned action, vision remains fantasy. Examine routines critically, identify habits that advance your purpose, and eliminate those that detract from focus. Habitual alignment ensures that energy naturally flows toward desired results. Over time, supportive routines automate progress, freeing the mind for creative problem solving. Commitment is strengthened by internalizing responsibility. Success depends on your actions, decisions, and persistence. External circumstances may influence results, but consistent effort under your control produces growth. Accepting personal accountability enhances focus, strengthens discipline, and reinforces resilience. A mindset grounded in ownership converts challenges into opportunities for refinement rather than excuses for stagnation. Anticipating obstacles enhances preparedness. Challenges are inevitable, and the mind that expects resistance can respond strategically. Identify potential risks, plan contingencies, and develop problem-solving strategies in advance. Preparedness reduces fear, increases confidence, and maintains forward momentum. Obstacles become manageable rather than threatening, and each difficulty encountered strengthens resolve and experience. A growth-oriented mindset supports goal achievement. See setbacks as feedback, challenges as learning, and effort as the path to mastery. Each failure contains information that can guide the next step. By interpreting difficulties as opportunities, the mind remains positive, resilient, and solution-focused. Growth-focused thinking converts obstacles into tools for development and ensures continuous progress toward objectives. Clarity, meaning incremental action, reflection, and persistence form the pillars of effective goal setting. The mind is guided by these principles toward outcomes that align with capability, purpose, and potential. Clear goals transform effort into direction, challenges into training, and intentions into reality. A well-defined objective empowers the mind to act decisively, maintain focus, and sustain momentum, even in the face of uncertainty. Ultimately, setting clear goals unlocks potential because it organizes thought, focuses energy, and strengthens mental endurance. Every action becomes intentional, every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every day contributes to measurable growth. A mind directed by purpose, guided by clarity, and reinforced by consistent effort develops confidence, discipline, and resilience. Goals are not just destinations, they are a framework that shapes thinking, channels energy, and ensures that your potential is fully realized in the world. Chapter 100: Build resilience by turning every failure into progress. Failure is not the end of the journey, but a critical part of growth. Every person experiences setbacks, mistakes, and disappointments, yet the difference between those who succeed and those who falter is the ability to transform failure into progress. Resilience is the skill that allows you to take what initially feels like defeat and convert it into learning, strength, and forward motion. It is cultivated intentionally through reflection, adaptation, and disciplined response. The mind that understands failure as a teacher becomes unstoppable because it refuses to treat challenges as permanent obstacles. The first step in building resilience is reframing failure. Most people perceive failure as a reflection of personal inadequacy, but it is simply feedback. Each unsuccessful attempt contains information about what works, what does not, and what requires adjustment. By analyzing outcomes objectively, the mind extracts lessons instead of sinking into discouragement. Failure, when reframed, becomes a guidepost rather than a verdict. Emotional response to failure is critical. Strong reactions such as shame, anger, or despair consume energy and cloud judgment. Resilient individuals allow themselves to feel disappointment without becoming paralyzed by it. They acknowledge emotions, then redirect attention to actionable insights. Managing the emotional impact preserves mental clarity, allowing for constructive evaluation of mistakes. The ability to regulate feelings ensures that failure strengthens rather than weakens resolve. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for converting setbacks into progress. After a failure, examine what occurred, identifying decisions, actions, or assumptions that contributed to the result. Focus on factors within your control rather than external circumstances. This analysis reveals specific areas for improvement and empowers intentional changes. Reflection turns abstract disappointment into tangible knowledge that informs the next effort. Adapting strategies is essential. Repeating the same actions expecting a different outcome is ineffective. Resilient individuals adjust methods based on lessons learned, experimenting with approaches until success is achieved. Adaptation requires flexibility, creativity, and a willingness to challenge old habits. Each iteration increases skill, understanding, and confidence. By seeing failure as data, the mind transforms setbacks into building blocks for mastery. Persistence is inseparable from resilience. Progress often demands sustained effort despite repeated setbacks. Those who achieve great outcomes do not rely solely on talent, they rely on persistence. Every attempt, even if unsuccessful, strengthens mental endurance and expands capability. Developing a mindset where effort is consistent regardless of immediate results reinforces the habit of progress through adversity. Maintaining perspective is a key factor in resilience. One setback does not define your entire path. Viewing failures as temporary events rather than permanent judgments allows the mind to stay focused on long-term objectives. Perspective ensures that each disappointment is contained, analyzed, and used as fuel rather than allowing it to derail motivation. Long-term vision transforms isolated failures into steps along a meaningful journey. Gratitude strengthens resilience. Recognizing progress, support systems, and resources even in the face of failure reinforces confidence and optimism. Gratitude shifts focus from what went wrong to what is still present and valuable. This mental adjustment reduces discouragement and increases energy for corrective action. Resilient individuals consistently balance acknowledgement of setbacks with appreciation for growth opportunities and existing strengths. Action is the ultimate response to failure. Reflection, analysis, and planning are ineffective without execution. Applying insights immediately demonstrates commitment and prevents stagnation. Each deliberate action, informed by prior mistakes, reinforces competence and builds momentum. Action bridges the gap between learning and results, ensuring that setbacks are translated into measurable progress. Building resilience also involves cultivating mental toughness. Challenges are inevitable, but the mind that has been trained to remain steady under stress reacts strategically rather than impulsively. Mental toughness arises from repeated practice in navigating adversity, managing emotion, and pursuing goals despite difficulty. It allows individuals to recover quickly, maintain focus, and continue striving without losing energy to self-doubt or fear. Self-compassion enhances resilience. Failure can be harshly internalized, but treating oneself with patience and understanding encourages growth. Self-criticism can become counterproductive, reducing confidence and increasing the likelihood of repeated errors. A balanced internal response allows you to accept mistakes, learn from them, and move forward with determination. Compassion is not weakness, it is a tool for maintaining energy and motivation. Visualization supports learning from setbacks. Mentally rehearsing potential challenges, responses, and corrective actions prepares the mind for future attempts. Visualizing successful navigation of difficulties reinforces confidence, reduces fear, and increases readiness. The more vividly you simulate recovery and progress in your mind, the more natural and effective your response becomes when real obstacles arise. Accountability accelerates resilience. Sharing setbacks and lessons with mentors, coaches, or peers provides external perspective, guidance, and encouragement. Accountability reduces the tendency to rationalize failures or repeat unproductive patterns. Constructive feedback ensures that mistakes are transformed into actionable insights rather than lingering regrets. External support reinforces internal strength by providing clarity and direction. Physical readiness supports mental resilience. Adequate rest, nutrition, and exercise maintain energy levels necessary for sustained effort. A fatigued mind is less capable of learning from mistakes, maintaining composure, and responding effectively. Physical well-being provides a foundation that enhances the ability to convert setbacks into growth. Strength in the body complements strength in the mind. Repetition strengthens the learning process. Each experience of failure followed by deliberate reflection and action reinforces neural pathways for problem solving, patience, and endurance. Repeated practice builds confidence that setbacks are surmountable and that each challenge contributes to long-term capability. Over time, repeated recovery transforms resilience from a conscious effort into an automatic response to adversity. Maintaining optimism is vital. Confidence in future success, even after repeated setbacks, motivates continued action and prevents discouragement. Optimism is not naive hope, it is a deliberate choice to focus on possibilities, solutions, and capability rather than permanent limitation. By coupling optimism with analysis and action, setbacks become catalysts for growth rather than anchors of despair. Learning from failure also requires honesty. Acknowledging mistakes clearly without distortion or self-deception ensures that lessons are valid. Honest evaluation prevents repeated errors and builds credibility with oneself. The disciplined mind treats every failure as evidence rather than excuse, maintaining integrity while fostering growth. Embracing failure as part of progress nurtures courage. Each risk carries potential for error, but those who avoid challenges to prevent mistakes limit growth. Courage involves acting despite uncertainty and potential loss. Each courageous step, even when imperfect, strengthens resilience and reinforces the belief that obstacles are surmountable. Community and connection enhance recovery from failure. Support from others provides perspective, encouragement, and shared wisdom. Observing how others have overcome setbacks reinforces the understanding that failure is universal and surmountable. Connection reminds the mind that recovery is possible and that lessons can be accelerated through shared experience. Ultimately, resilience is the transformation of failure into progress. It is the discipline of extracting lessons, adjusting strategies, maintaining effort, and acting with clarity. Every setback is an opportunity to refine skill, strengthen mental endurance, and build confidence. The mind that treats obstacles as training becomes unstoppable because it turns adversity into advantage, mistakes into mastery, and challenges into stepping stones toward long-term success. Chapter 11. Strengthen discipline by committing to small daily wins. Discipline is the backbone of achievement because talent alone cannot create consistent results. The ability to take action every day, regardless of mood, circumstance, or distraction, separates those who achieve from those who merely dream. Discipline is not about grand gestures or sudden bursts of willpower. It is cultivated through small, consistent victories that compound over time. Each choice to follow through, each deliberate action, and each moment of restraint builds momentum. Small daily wins are the bricks that form a foundation strong enough to support long-term success and personal mastery. The first principle in strengthening discipline is consistency. The mind learns patterns through repetition. Each time you complete a task you committed to, no matter how minor it seems, you reinforce neural pathways that increase reliability and focus. These small acts create an internal sense of trust and momentum. Discipline grows when effort becomes habitual, and habit is built on repeated action, not intention. Clarity about what constitutes a win is essential. A daily win is not defined by perfection or extraordinary accomplishment. It is defined by intentional completion of a meaningful task. It could be writing a page of work, exercising for 15 minutes, organizing a space, or simply taking a deliberate step toward a larger goal. By identifying manageable wins, you create attainable objectives that maintain motivation and strengthen the habit of follow-through. Breaking larger goals into micro-actions enhances discipline. Ambitious objectives often feel overwhelming and trigger procrastination. Small, achievable steps create a pathway forward, allowing the mind to focus on immediate action rather than distant outcomes. Each small success builds confidence, reinforces capability, and creates visible progress. The compounding effect of incremental achievements transforms ordinary days into extraordinary results over time. Tracking progress reinforces commitment. Writing down daily wins, marking accomplishments, or reviewing completed actions builds accountability to yourself. Observing tangible evidence of effort creates pride, motivation, and self-belief. Each record serves as proof that consistent action produces results, strengthening mental resolve and encouraging further discipline. Focus is sharpened by deliberately prioritizing actions. Not every task contributes equally to long-term success. Disciplined individuals identify high-impact activities and commit to completing them before engaging in less significant distractions. Prioritization ensures that energy is directed toward meaningful outcomes, maximizing the benefit of each daily effort. This focus reduces wasted effort and reinforces a mindset oriented toward purposeful action. Resisting temptation strengthens self-control. Discipline is exercised in moments when shortcuts, excuses, or distractions appear. Each refusal to give in to immediate gratification strengthens mental resilience and reinforces the capacity for intentional behavior. Small daily wins are often acts of restraint, choosing to act on purpose rather than reacting impulsively. These victories accumulate into unshakable self-command. Daily reflection enhances the impact of small wins. Evaluating what was accomplished, identifying areas for improvement, and acknowledging successes reinforces learning and growth. Reflection transforms routine action into conscious development, deepening the understanding of what strategies work and which habits require adjustment. The process of reflection ensures that discipline is not blind repetition, but a guided practice of continuous improvement. Consistency in daily wins also cultivates confidence. Each completed task, however minor, signals to the mind that you are capable of following through. Confidence grows from proof, not words. By accumulating evidence of reliability through repeated success, you reinforce belief in your abilities. The more consistent the wins, the more resilient your confidence becomes, and the easier it is to face larger challenges without hesitation. Momentum is generated through repetition. Small daily victories create a sense of forward motion that carries energy into future tasks. Each completed action reduces friction, strengthens willpower, and creates an internal rhythm that supports productivity. Discipline becomes easier when the mind is accustomed to regular action, as success breeds energy and energy fuels further action. Mindset plays a critical role. Viewing small wins as steps rather than isolated tasks creates a long-term perspective that values progress over perfection. Discipline thrives in a mindset that prioritizes effort and consistency above immediate reward. By internalizing the value of incremental achievement, the mind becomes oriented toward persistent action rather than fleeting motivation. Accountability amplifies results. Sharing goals or daily intentions with a mentor, peer, or support system increases the likelihood of follow-through. External accountability reinforces internal commitment, provides encouragement, and introduces perspective. Accountability ensures that small wins are not trivialized, but treated as deliberate steps toward meaningful objectives. Self-awareness strengthens discipline by identifying obstacles to consistency, recognizing habits, environmental factors, or emotional states that undermine daily action allows for strategic adjustments. Addressing barriers proactively reduces missed opportunities and enhances reliability. Awareness turns passive effort into deliberate, guided practice that strengthens character and mental endurance. Rewarding small victories sustains motivation. Celebrating completion of tasks, acknowledging effort, and recognizing progress reinforces positive behavior. Reinforcement strengthens the habit loop, making it easier to maintain consistency. Reward does not mean indulgence. It is recognition that consolidates achievement, supports morale, and encourages continuation of disciplined action. Physical and mental energy support consistent wins. Adequate rest, nutrition, and movement maintain focus, endurance, and clarity. Discipline is more accessible when the body and mind are prepared to execute tasks reliably. Health and energy are not external luxuries, they are essential components of a structured system that enables persistent progress. Adversity tests discipline. Challenges, fatigue, and unexpected interruptions provide opportunities to exercise resilience and commitment. Choosing to maintain action despite difficulty strengthens the mind's capacity for consistency. Each obstacle navigated while continuing daily wins reinforces the internal belief that setbacks are temporary and action remains possible regardless of circumstance. Patience is cultivated through small daily victories. Significant accomplishments are rarely instantaneous. Each incremental success teaches that growth requires time, persistence, and repeated effort. Patience reduces frustration, increases resilience, and sustains motivation. Discipline and patience work together, reinforcing the ability to maintain focus and effort over the long term. Over time, small wins compound into substantial achievement. The accumulated effect of consistent daily action is exponential. A single completed task may seem minor, but repeated over months and years, it forms the foundation for mastery, success, and self-confidence. Discipline is less about rare feats and more about steady accumulation of effort that produces unstoppable momentum. Ultimately, committing to small daily wins transforms both mindset and behavior. Each deliberate action strengthens focus, builds confidence, and reinforces resilience. Discipline becomes an internal habit rather than a forced effort. The consistent application of small victories creates a framework for personal growth, ensuring that long-term objectives are achieved while the mind and character are strengthened in the process. Daily wins are not trivial, they are the engine that powers continuous progress, shaping the life you desire, one intentional action at a time. Chapter 12. I focus on solutions to rise above every obstacle. Obstacles are an inevitable part of life, but they do not define what is possible. The difference between stagnation and progress lies in the approach taken when difficulties arise. Focusing on problems creates stress, paralysis, and frustration, while focusing on solutions channels energy toward action, improvement, and growth. Every obstacle presents multiple paths forward, but the mind must deliberately search for answers rather than dwell on limitations. The ability to shift attention from what is wrong to what can be done is the hallmark of mental strength, resilience, and effectiveness. The first step is to acknowledge the reality of the situation without judgment. Ignoring challenges or pretending they do not exist delays action. Accept the facts clearly, objectively, and calmly. This acknowledgement does not mean passivity. It is the foundation upon which constructive solutions are built. Recognizing the obstacle in full detail allows the mind to analyze causes, consequences, and potential strategies with clarity. Once the situation is understood, the next step is to generate options. Brainstorm possible courses of action without immediately dismissing any idea. The initial focus should be on quantity rather than perfection. Even unconventional approaches can reveal opportunities that were previously hidden. Expanding the field of possibilities strengthens creativity and reduces the sense of limitation that often accompanies difficulty. After generating options, evaluate each potential solution critically. Consider feasibility, resources, timing, and potential impact. Identify actions that can be executed immediately and those that require preparation. Prioritizing actionable steps ensures that energy is directed toward tangible progress rather than endless speculation. The ability to select practical solutions distinguishes effective problem solvers from those who remain overwhelmed by challenges. Action is essential. A solution has no value without implementation. Break the chosen plan into manageable steps and execute them with focus and discipline. Taking deliberate action reduces anxiety, creates momentum, and produces measurable progress. Each step, however small, moves the situation closer to resolution and reinforces confidence in your ability to overcome obstacles. Adaptability is key. Obstacles often evolve as you engage with them. Monitor results, assess effectiveness, and adjust your approach when necessary. Flexibility does not imply weakness. It demonstrates responsiveness, intelligence, and resilience. Being able to pivot while maintaining focus on solutions ensures that setbacks do not derail progress and that continuous improvement remains possible. Mindset shapes the ability to find solutions. Approaching challenges with curiosity, creativity, and determination encourages exploration rather than avoidance. A solution-oriented mindset treats difficulties as opportunities to learn, innovate, and demonstrate capability. By training the mind to seek answers, obstacles become temporary puzzles rather than permanent barriers. Focus requires eliminating distractions. When energy is scattered on irrelevant concerns or hypothetical problems, clarity diminishes. Concentrate exclusively on the aspects of the situation that can be influenced or controlled. By narrowing attention to actionable elements, the mind becomes efficient, strategic, and decisive. Concentrated effort increases the likelihood of resolution and reinforces confidence in your decision-making. Resilience strengthens as solutions are pursued. Each obstacle overcome reinforces the belief that challenges are manageable and that effective action produces results. Facing adversity repeatedly builds mental stamina and courage, reducing fear of future difficulties. The mind trained to solve problems remains composed under pressure and confident in the ability to navigate uncertainty. Collaboration often enhances solution finding. Seeking input from others provides perspectives, expertise, and resources that may not be immediately apparent. Effective problem solvers know when to rely on collective intelligence while maintaining ownership of the outcome. Collaboration expands options, accelerates progress, and reinforces the understanding that solutions are rarely the product of isolated effort. Reflection is critical for continuous improvement. After implementing solutions, analyze results, identify lessons learned, and recognize areas for refinement. Each challenge becomes a training ground for future obstacles, improving both skill and mental resilience. Reflection ensures that experience is internalized, allowing the mind to approach subsequent difficulties with increased effectiveness and confidence. Maintaining optimism reinforces solution-oriented thinking. Belief in the possibility of resolution motivates exploration, persistence, and creativity. Optimism does not ignore reality. It frames it constructively, highlighting opportunities instead of dwelling on limitations. The confident expectation that action will lead to progress energizes effort and reinforces mental focus. Visualization strengthens problem-solving capacity. Imagine navigating the obstacles successfully, anticipating steps, challenges, and outcomes. Engaging the mind in a vivid rehearsal conditions it to recognize opportunities, stay composed under pressure, and act decisively. Visualization bridges the gap between planning and execution, making the solution more tangible and achievable. Discipline ensures that solutions are pursued consistently. Daily effort, routine evaluation, and methodical execution prevent procrastination, distraction, and wavering commitment. Each disciplined action reinforces the habit of seeking solutions rather than surrendering to obstacles. Consistency transforms intermittent success into sustained progress. Resisting negative self-talk is essential in solution-focused thinking. Internal doubts, fear, or pessimism can obscure potential actions and inhibit initiative. Replace thoughts of impossibility with statements of capability, clarity, and determination. Positive internal dialogue reinforces confidence, directs attention toward effective action, and strengthens mental resilience. Resourcefulness enhances the ability to overcome obstacles. Identify tools, knowledge, networks, and personal strengths that can aid in finding solutions. The ability to leverage available assets efficiently allows even complex challenges to become manageable. Resourcefulness turns scarcity into advantage and transforms limitations into actionable opportunities. Patience supports sustained effort. Complex challenges rarely resolve instantly. Each small step, adjustment, and iteration contributes to the larger resolution. Maintaining calm focus prevents frustration, ensures clarity, and supports consistent progress. Patience allows the mind to persist strategically rather than reactively, preserving energy for meaningful action. Learning from past obstacles strengthens future performance. Analyze previous challenges, identify what strategies succeeded, and note what failed. Apply these lessons to new difficulties, refining methods and improving efficiency. The accumulation of experience builds a mindset that anticipates obstacles, identifies solutions quickly, and acts decisively under pressure. Every obstacle can be transformed into a catalyst for growth. By focusing on solutions, the mind shifts from resistance to action, from despair to creativity, and from limitation to opportunity. Each challenge navigated reinforces confidence, expands capability, and strengthens resilience. The ability to consistently seek solutions ensures that difficulties become temporary stepping stones rather than permanent barriers. Ultimately, focusing on solutions is a deliberate choice that determines outcomes. The mind trained to seek answers, execute plans, adapt to feedback, and maintain persistence rises above obstacles rather than being weighed down by them. Solutions are not discovered by chance. They are cultivated through clarity, action, reflection, and unwavering commitment. Every difficulty encountered is an opportunity to exercise mental strength, sharpen focus, and demonstrate that progress is always possible when attention is directed toward answers rather than problems. Chapter 30:30 Control your attention to perform better in life. Attention is the single most valuable resource in life because it determines where energy, focus, and action are directed. Everything you achieve is a product of where your mind rests, what it dwells on, and what it ignores. Those who control their attention consistently outperform those who allow distractions to dictate priorities. Mastering attention is not about forcing focus through willpower alone. It is about training the mind to recognize what is important, maintain presence, and resist the pull of irrelevant stimuli. When attention is harnessed deliberately, productivity increases, decision-making improves, and the quality of experience deepens. The first step in controlling attention is awareness of how it is currently spent. Many people drift through their day reacting to notifications, interruptions, and random thoughts rather than directing focus intentionally. Observe moments when your mind wanders or energy is dissipated. Tracking attention reveals patterns that must be addressed to reclaim control. Once patterns are identified, deliberate choices can be made about what deserves focus and what should be ignored. Prioritization is essential. Not every task, idea, or distraction holds equal value. Directing attention toward high-impact actions ensures that energy produces meaningful results. Consider what will contribute most to your goals, growth, and well-being, and consciously dedicate focus to those areas. By ignoring low-value stimuli, the mind preserves energy for tasks that truly matter. Each choice to focus is a decision that reinforces discipline and sharpens performance. Environment influences attention significantly. External stimuli such as noise, clutter, or interruptions can fragment focus. Creating a physical and digital environment conducive to concentration strengthens the ability to maintain attention. remove distractions, organize spaces, and establish routines that signal the mind it is time for deliberate effort. Environmental control reduces mental friction and increases capacity for sustained focus. Managing internal distractions is equally critical. Thoughts, worries, and emotional reactions can divert attention from important tasks. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness train the mind to notice intrusive thoughts without acting on them. Developing the ability to redirect focus repeatedly strengthens mental stamina and enhances clarity in decision-making. The mind becomes capable of sustained presence, even amid pressure or complexity. Single tasking produces greater results than multitasking. Attempting to divide attention dilutes effort and reduces efficiency. By focusing entirely on one activity at a time, the mind operates at peak performance. Completion of tasks with full attention increases quality, speeds execution, and reduces stress. Each focused effort reinforces the neural pathways that support concentration and mental endurance. Time management reinforces attention control. Structured blocks of focus dedicated to important work prevent wandering and wasted effort. Scheduling periods of high-priority action ensures that attention is not left to chance. Protecting these intervals from interruptions preserves energy, sharpens cognitive performance, and strengthens the habit of deliberate focus. Goals provide direction for attention. A clear understanding of what needs to be achieved allows the mind to concentrate on relevant actions. Without defined objectives, attention drifts, energy is dissipated, and progress is hindered. Each task performed with intention becomes aligned with larger outcomes, increasing efficiency, confidence, and impact. Attention guided by purpose is attention that produces results. Reflection strengthens control over focus. Reviewing how attention was spent during the day identifies patterns, distractions, and opportunities for improvement. This conscious evaluation trains the mind to redirect energy more effectively over time. Reflection transforms passive awareness into deliberate mastery, ensuring that attention becomes a tool rather than a random force. Energy management is vital for sustained focus. Mental fatigue reduces attention span and increases susceptibility to distraction. Maintaining adequate rest, nutrition, and movement ensures that the mind remains capable of deliberate focus. Physical well-being and mental clarity are intertwined, and controlling attention requires a body and mind prepared for sustained effort. Intentional breaks support attention rather than undermine it. Periodic rest prevents cognitive overload, allowing the mind to return to tasks with renewed clarity and efficiency. Strategically planned pauses strengthen sustained focus, preventing burnout while reinforcing mental discipline. Attention is most productive when balanced with restorative practices that maintain cognitive and emotional stamina. Positive reinforcement encourages repeated focus. Each time attention is successfully maintained on high-value activities, acknowledge the achievement. Recognition strengthens neural pathways that associate deliberate focus with reward, making it easier to sustain attention in the future. Celebrating consistency reinforces mental habits that promote clarity, discipline, and productivity. Limiting exposure to unnecessary inputs enhances control. Media, conversations, and digital content can fragment attention if consumed indiscriminately. Curating the information that enters your mind ensures that mental energy is reserved for meaningful pursuits. By choosing what to allow into consciousness, the mind becomes sharper, more resilient, and more capable of executing priorities effectively. Decision-making benefits from attention mastery. The quality of choices improves when focus is directed intentionally rather than scattered across competing stimuli. When the mind is trained to maintain clarity under pressure, it evaluates options with accuracy, foresight, and strategic insight. Controlling attention prevents impulsive reactions and increases the likelihood of long-term success. Discipline reinforces attention control. Maintaining focus consistently requires commitment to daily practice. The mind strengthens through repetition, gradually reducing susceptibility to distraction. Small victories in focus compound, creating a foundation for sustained effort, deeper thinking, and superior performance in every area of life. Resilience is built through controlled attention. The mind that can maintain focus under stress, fatigue, or uncertainty is better equipped to overcome obstacles. Challenges no longer dominate thought. Instead, they are addressed with deliberate, solution-oriented energy. Mastery of attention transforms difficulty into opportunity and enhances the ability to respond effectively in any situation. Visualization supports attention. Mentally rehearsing tasks, anticipating challenges, and imagining successful completion strengthens the mind's capacity to maintain focus in real circumstances. Visualization primes neural pathways associated with concentration, increasing the ability to execute tasks with precision and persistence. Long-term success emerges from consistent attention management. Each moment focused on meaningful action compounds into skill, experience, and achievement. The mind trained to control where it rests develops clarity, resilience, and the ability to act decisively. Attention becomes a tool of empowerment, shaping outcomes, elevating performance, and determining the trajectory of life. Ultimately, controlling attention is about deliberate choice. Every distraction resisted, every focus maintained, and every moment of presence reinforced strengthens mental capacity and performance. Life's challenges are inevitable, but a mind directed with intention produces clarity, excellence, and results. The ability to focus transforms potential into accomplishment, effort into achievement, and daily action into a life lived with purpose and mastery. Chapter 14. Build strong habits that shape your winning mindset. Habits are the invisible architecture of the mind, shaping behavior, decisions, and ultimately the life you lead. The strongest minds and the most accomplished individuals are not solely defined by talent or intelligence, but by consistent habits that guide thought and action. Each daily routine, repeated action, and automatic choice reinforces patterns that either empower or limit potential. Building strong habits is the deliberate process of aligning behavior with purpose, ensuring that the mind naturally leans toward productivity, discipline, and success. When habits are structured to support growth, they create a foundation for a winning mindset that operates with consistency and focus. The first step is identifying habits that have the greatest impact on your life. Not all behaviors are equally important. High-value habits, those that consistently contribute to improvement, learning, and resilience, should be prioritized. These may include practices for mental clarity, physical health, emotional regulation, or skill development. Focusing on a small number of transformative habits prevents overwhelm and ensures that effort produces tangible results. Each habit becomes a building block for greater capability. Consistency is the essence of habit formation. Repetition is what transforms intentional actions into automatic behaviors. Performing the same action in a deliberate manner every day trains the mind to operate efficiently and predictably. Over time, the effort required to maintain a habit decreases, allowing energy to be redirected toward higher-level thinking and decision-making. Consistency builds momentum, reinforcing confidence and control. Habits shape thought patterns as well as behaviors. When daily routines are designed to encourage discipline, focus, and growth, the mind begins to internalize these qualities. Reading each morning, journaling reflections, exercising, or practicing gratitude are examples of actions that rewire thought processes toward resilience and optimism. The mind begins to expect deliberate effort and seeks opportunities to extend discipline into other areas of life. Breaking large goals into smaller, habitual actions increases the likelihood of success. Instead of relying on willpower for monumental tasks, structure routines that incrementally advance objectives. Each small, consistent action compounds over time, creating progress that feels natural rather than forced. Habits reduce the mental friction associated with long-term goals and ensure steady advancement, even when motivation fluctuates. Environment reinforces habit formation. Physical and social surroundings influence behavior and thought patterns. A cluttered, distracting space encourages disorganization, while an orderly, intentional environment promotes focus and efficiency. Similarly, surrounding yourself with individuals who model positive behaviors reinforces commitment and accountability. Structuring your environment to support desired habits reduces reliance on willpower and strengthens automaticity. Tracking and monitoring habits enhances effectiveness. Recording completion, progress and outcomes creates awareness and accountability. Measurement allows reflection on what works, where adjustments are necessary, and which habits have the most significant impact. Documentation transforms abstract intentions into tangible achievements, reinforcing the connection between action and result. Patience is essential in building strong habits. Meaningful transformation rarely occurs overnight. Habits develop through repeated, deliberate effort, often requiring weeks or months before they become automatic. Maintaining focus on the long-term benefits rather than immediate outcomes sustains momentum and prevents discouragement. Patience ensures persistence through the early stages when reinforcement is still being established. Reinforcement strengthens habit retention. Recognizing effort, celebrating small victories, and observing progress motivates continued practice. Reward mechanisms do not need to be elaborate, but should be meaningful enough to associate positive emotion with consistent behavior. This reinforcement consolidates neural pathways, making habits more automatic and strengthening the mindset that values disciplined effort. Eliminating counterproductive habits is equally important. Destructive patterns, such as procrastination, negative self-talk, or unhealthy routines, drain energy and undermine progress. Identifying and replacing these behaviors with constructive alternatives frees mental and physical resources for growth. Habit substitution ensures that the mind operates in alignment with long-term objectives rather than defaulting to limiting behaviors. Habits also cultivate resilience. When practices like consistent effort, preparation, and reflection become automatic, the mind is better equipped to handle unexpected challenges. Structured routines create stability and predictability, allowing flexibility under stress without sacrificing performance. Resilient habits reduce the likelihood of being overwhelmed by obstacles and increase capacity to recover from setbacks. Visualization enhances habit development. Mentally rehearsing routines, desired behaviors, and outcomes strengthens the mind's association between action and result. Visualization reinforces neural pathways related to discipline, focus, and execution. Practicing habits mentally complements physical performance and accelerates internalization of consistent patterns. Self-awareness supports habit optimization. Regularly evaluating which actions produce the greatest impact allows refinement and adjustment. Habits should evolve in response to changing goals, circumstances, and personal growth. Awareness ensures that effort remains aligned with purpose and that routines continue to strengthen a winning mindset rather than stagnate. Accountability accelerates habit formation. Sharing intentions with a mentor, coach, or supportive peer increases commitment. External feedback highlights blind spots, provides guidance, and reinforces consistency. Knowing that others are observing, progress strengthens adherence and transforms personal effort into a shared, supported practice. Mindset and habits are inseparable. A disciplined, solution-focused, and growth-oriented mindset is reinforced by daily routines that reflect these values. The more automatic the habits become, the less the mind relies on fluctuating motivation or willpower. Over time, consistent action creates a self-sustaining system in which thought and behavior mutually reinforce strength, resilience, and performance. Habits also encourage mental clarity. Structured routines reduce decision fatigue, allowing focus to remain on meaningful challenges rather than minor choices. By automating essential behaviors, the mind preserves energy for creativity, problem-solving, and high-priority tasks. Strong habits create mental bandwidth that supports growth, learning, and execution at a higher level. Long-term success emerges from the accumulation of disciplined routines. Each habit performed consistently over time compounds into skill, knowledge, and character. The mind that practices deliberate, constructive behavior daily internalizes discipline, resilience, and focus, producing outcomes far beyond what sporadic effort could achieve. Habits transform potential into measurable achievement. Ultimately, building strong habits is about designing a life in which growth and success are inevitable. Each repeated action reinforces the mind, shapes thought, and strengthens character. Habits automate discipline, enhance resilience, and focus energy on purposeful effort. A winning mindset is cultivated through these daily practices, ensuring that mental strength, clarity, and effectiveness are maintained consistently. Over time, the small, deliberate choices made each day accumulate into extraordinary capability, shaping a life defined by intentionality, achievement, and relentless personal growth. Chapter 5: Train your patience to master any life challenge. Patience is a powerful skill that shapes the way life is experienced and determines the quality of outcomes in every endeavor. Challenges, delays, and frustrations are unavoidable, but a patient mind turns these moments into opportunities for growth rather than sources of stress. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active endurance, deliberate restraint, and strategic persistence that allows the mind to navigate obstacles with clarity and composure. Those who cultivate patience can withstand difficulty, make wiser decisions, and approach challenges with a steady, resilient mindset. The first step in developing patience is recognizing the nature of time. Many struggles arise because people demand immediate results or become frustrated with the pace of progress. Understanding that meaningful outcomes often require consistent effort over time helps the mind align expectations with reality. This awareness transforms impatience into acceptance without reducing ambition or drive. Breathing and mindfulness anchor patience. When confronted with difficulty, the mind often reacts impulsively, creating tension and stress. Slowing the breath and observing the present moment cultivates calmness and clarity. Mindfulness allows space between stimulus and response, giving the mind the ability to choose deliberate action rather than reacting emotionally. This internal pause strengthens self-control and prepares the mind to face challenges effectively. Perspective reinforces patience. Viewing setbacks and delays as part of the learning process reduces frustration. Each challenge contains lessons that contribute to skill, knowledge, and resilience. By reframing obstacles as opportunities rather than threats, the mind remains composed and constructive. Patience emerges naturally when difficulties are seen as temporary steps along a broader path rather than permanent barriers. Incremental progress is the foundation of enduring patience. Break larger goals or challenges into smaller, manageable steps. Focusing on one step at a time reduces anxiety and prevents the mind from becoming overwhelmed. Each small success reinforces the belief that persistence produces results, strengthening commitment to continued effort. Gradual advancement cultivates confidence, minimizes stress, and builds the capacity to endure longer challenges. Self-awareness is essential. Recognize triggers that provoke impatience, such as unrealistic expectations, fear, or comparison to others. Understanding these triggers allows the mind to anticipate reactions and respond strategically. By managing emotional impulses, the mind maintains control and ensures that energy is directed toward constructive action rather than wasted in frustration or anger. Patience is reinforced through reflection. Regularly reviewing progress, challenges, and responses to difficulty builds insight into how effort translates into results over time. Reflection creates perspective, allowing the mind to see patterns, learn from mistakes, and maintain faith in the process. A reflective mind strengthens endurance and encourages consistent application of effort, even in the face of delays. Preparation and planning support patience. Anticipating obstacles, allocating resources, and designing structured approaches to challenges reduce uncertainty, which is a primary source of frustration. When the mind has a clear framework for action, it is less likely to react impulsively or become discouraged. Preparedness turns potential stress into actionable steps and reinforces calm persistence. Discipline strengthens patience by building consistent behavior regardless of immediate reward. Committing to daily effort, maintaining focus, and following through on tasks develops endurance. Each act of persistence, even when results are not immediately visible, trains the mind to tolerate delay, navigate difficulty, and remain focused on long-term objectives. Patience becomes a natural extension of disciplined action rather than a forced effort. Gratitude enhances patience. Recognizing what is already achieved or present reduces the pressure for instant results. Appreciation shifts focus from scarcity and lack to abundance and possibility, fostering calmness and contentment. A grateful mind perceives progress in small wins, cultivating optimism and reducing the frustration that undermines endurance. Visualization strengthens patient action. Mentally rehearsing situations that typically provoke impatience and imagining responding with calm, deliberate effort primes the mind for real-life challenges. Visualization creates familiarity with stress and uncertainty, enabling a composed, measured response when obstacles occur. Mentally practicing patience reinforces the neural pathways necessary for controlled, effective behavior. Resilience grows alongside patience. The mind that endures delays and obstacles without succumbing to frustration develops strength. Each trial navigated patiently increases confidence in the ability to handle future difficulties. Over time, patience becomes both a coping mechanism and a tool for strategic action, allowing the mind to remain steady while progress unfolds. Patience also improves decision-making. When impulsive reactions are minimized, choices are more deliberate, informed, and rational. A mind practiced in patience evaluates options, anticipates consequences, and acts strategically rather than emotionally. This leads to superior outcomes, reduced regret, and a consistent trajectory of progress. Adversity strengthens the practice of patience. Facing challenging circumstances provides an opportunity to exercise restraint, focus, and perseverance. Each encounter with difficulty is a training ground for endurance. The more the mind is tested and responds patiently, the more capable it becomes of maintaining calm and effectiveness in high-pressure situations. Accountability supports patient behavior. Sharing goals, processes, and progress with a mentor or peer reinforces commitment to consistent effort. Feedback from others helps maintain perspective, encourages persistence, and prevents the mind from becoming discouraged by temporary setbacks. Social reinforcement amplifies the development of patience by providing external validation and guidance. Energy management sustains patience. Mental and physical fatigue reduce the ability to remain calm and endure challenges. Maintaining rest, proper nutrition, and movement ensures that the mind has the capacity to respond effectively to obstacles. Energy reserves allow patience to function as a tool rather than a rare effort, supporting steady, purposeful action. Self-compassion strengthens patience. Treating oneself with understanding and kindness in the face of delays or mistakes prevents frustration from undermining motivation. Patience is not about harsh self-discipline, but about maintaining steady effort while allowing room for human imperfection. Compassion reinforces resilience and ensures that endurance is sustainable over time. Focus amplifies patient action. Concentrating on what can be controlled rather than worrying about external variables keeps effort directed and productive. The mind trained in attention remains effective even when outcomes are delayed. Focused patience allows consistent progress without wasted energy on factors outside one's influence. Learning from experience reinforces patience. Observing how persistence in previous challenges led to eventual success increases confidence in the process. Past results demonstrate that delays, effort, and endurance are productive rather than obstacles. Each lesson strengthens the ability to maintain calm and consistent effort in the face of new difficulties. Ultimately, training patience is about mastering the mind's response to time, difficulty, and uncertainty. A patient mind approaches challenges strategically, persists consistently, and maintains composure under pressure. Life's obstacles are inevitable, but patience transforms frustration into deliberate action, delays into opportunities for preparation, and challenges into growth. The ability to endure with clarity, focus, and persistence ensures that no difficulty is insurmountable and that long-term success is built steadily, deliberately, and sustainably. Chapter 16Z. Stay mentally strong when everything feels uncertain. Life is unpredictable, and uncertainty can create a heavy weight on the mind, causing fear, doubt, and hesitation. True mental strength is revealed not when circumstances are easy, but when everything feels unstable and outcomes are unclear. Maintaining stability in the face of unpredictability is a skill that can be developed deliberately. It requires a combination of focus, clarity, self-awareness, and disciplined thought. Mental strength in uncertain times does not remove challenges, but it ensures that the mind remains steady, responsive, and effective despite them. The first step is accepting uncertainty as an inherent part of life. Resisting it only creates anxiety and frustration. Recognizing that not everything can be controlled allows energy to be directed toward areas where action is possible. Acceptance does not imply passivity. It provides a foundation for strategic thinking, deliberate choices, and calm execution. A mind that refuses to fight what cannot be changed becomes more flexible, resilient, and capable of navigating chaos. Maintaining focus strengthens the ability to act under uncertainty. When situations are unclear, the mind often drifts into speculation or worry, which wastes energy and diminishes clarity. Directing attention to actionable steps, decisions within your control, and meaningful objectives stabilizes thought. Focusing on what can be influenced creates tangible results, reinforcing confidence and reducing the paralyzing effects of uncertainty. Clarity is enhanced through reflection. Taking time to evaluate the current situation, identify critical priorities, and assess available resources prevents reactive behavior. Mental strength grows when actions are guided by deliberate analysis rather than emotional impulses. Reflection allows the mind to remain grounded, even when external circumstances are unpredictable. It creates a structured approach to decision-making that reduces stress and increases effectiveness. Routine and structure reinforce stability. Even when external events are volatile, maintaining consistent daily practices provides predictability for the mind. Habits such as planning, journaling, exercise, and meditation create internal order, which stabilizes thought and enhances resilience. Structured routines act as anchors, allowing the mind to remain composed regardless of external turbulence. Resilience is built through small victories in uncertainty. Every time the mind acts deliberately and effectively despite unclear circumstances, confidence grows. Resilient individuals learn from each situation, refine their approach, and maintain composure in subsequent challenges. Repeated experience with ambiguity strengthens the ability to navigate unpredictability without being overwhelmed by fear or doubt. Emotional regulation is crucial. Uncertainty often triggers stress, frustration, or panic, which clouds judgment and reduces problem-solving capacity. Practicing control over emotional responses ensures that decisions remain rational, deliberate, and aligned with long-term objectives. Techniques such as deep breathing, grounding exercises, and mindful observation of emotions create space for reasoned response rather than impulsive reaction. Perspective mitigates the impact of uncertainty. Viewing challenges as temporary, learning opportunities, or stepping stones for growth shifts the mind from fear to constructive engagement. Historical reflection, recalling past situations navigated successfully despite ambiguity, reinforces belief in the ability to endure. Perspective reduces emotional intensity, enabling clearer thinking and sustained mental strength. Decision-making under uncertainty relies on preparation. Anticipating potential scenarios, evaluating risks, and identifying contingency plans ensures that the mind can respond effectively when unpredictability arises. Preparedness reduces the paralyzing effects of surprise and strengthens confidence that challenges can be addressed strategically rather than chaotically. Mental strength grows when action is grounded in planning rather than reaction. Adaptability amplifies stability. Circumstances change, and rigidity under uncertainty leads to stress and ineffective responses. Training the mind to pivot, revise plans, and adjust strategies maintains control even as variables shift. Flexibility is a mark of strength, allowing the mind to remain focused on objectives while navigating the unknown. Adaptable thinkers identify opportunities within chaos and respond creatively to evolving situations. Self-belief sustains mental strength. Confidence in one's ability to endure, learn, and act effectively under pressure empowers the mind to navigate uncertainty without paralysis. Trusting personal capability reduces fear, encourages proactive behavior, and strengthens resilience. Each successful navigation of ambiguity reinforces internal faith in competence, creating a positive cycle of confidence and action. Managing information intake is critical. Excessive exposure to conflicting reports, opinions, or negative news increases stress and confusion. Mental strength is supported by selectively focusing on facts, verified knowledge, and relevant details that inform decision-making. Controlled attention prevents the mind from being overwhelmed and maintains clarity amidst unpredictable circumstances. Patience complements strength. Solutions may not be immediate, and outcomes often unfold over time. Enduring uncertainty without rushing, panicking, or forcing results preserves mental energy and allows for strategic action. Patience ensures persistence and reduces the likelihood of hasty mistakes driven by fear or frustration. Support systems enhance resilience in uncertain times. Consulting trusted mentors, colleagues, or peers provides perspective, guidance, and encouragement. External input reduces isolation and reinforces confidence that challenges can be managed effectively. Collaboration helps the mind see opportunities that may not be obvious alone, increasing clarity and reinforcing stability. Visualization strengthens mental preparedness. Mentally rehearsing scenarios of unpredictability and imagining successful navigation equips the mind with strategies, composure, and confidence. Visualization primes responses to uncertainty, making real-life challenges feel manageable rather than overwhelming. It conditions the brain to respond with steadiness and intentional action rather than stress-driven reaction. Energy management is essential for maintaining mental strength. Fatigue amplifies stress and reduces cognitive clarity. Adequate rest, proper nutrition, and regular movement preserve the capacity to think clearly, make rational decisions, and act effectively under pressure. A well-maintained mind and body provide the foundation for enduring uncertainty without being depleted. Reflection after facing uncertainty consolidates growth. Analyzing actions, outcomes, and decisions allows lessons to be internalized, increasing preparedness for future challenges. Each encounter strengthens the mind's ability to remain composed, identify actionable steps, and adapt under pressure. Reflection ensures that uncertainty becomes a training ground for growth rather than a source of persistent anxiety. Ultimately, mental strength during uncertainty is cultivated through deliberate practice, disciplined attention, emotional control, and strategic action. Life will always present moments where outcomes are unclear, circumstances are unstable, and the future is unpredictable. The mind trained to remain calm, focused, and responsive thrives in these situations. It converts ambiguity into opportunity, stress into clarity, and fear into decisive action. Maintaining mental strength when everything feels uncertain is not a passive state. It is a deliberate mastery of thought, focus, and resilience that empowers action, growth, and long-term success. Chapter 17. Learn self-awareness to manage stress and build peace. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of mental clarity, emotional balance, and personal growth. It allows the mind to recognize patterns of thought, emotional triggers, and habitual reactions that influence behavior and decision-making. Without self-awareness, stress accumulates unnoticed, reactions become automatic, and peace becomes elusive. Developing this skill requires deliberate observation of internal states, honest reflection, and a willingness to confront both strengths and weaknesses. A self-aware mind perceives life with clarity, responds deliberately rather than impulsively, and cultivates a lasting sense of inner peace even amid chaos. The first step in building self-awareness is observing thoughts without judgment. The mind constantly generates ideas, worries, and opinions that influence emotions and actions. Noticing these thoughts objectively, without labeling them as good or bad, creates a mental distance that allows conscious evaluation. Awareness of mental patterns reveals recurring anxieties, limiting beliefs, or unhelpful reactions that fuel stress. Simply noticing thoughts reduces their power and increases control over how energy is allocated. Emotions are closely tied to stress levels, and awareness of them is essential for management. Recognizing feelings as they arise provides insight into the mind's responses to external events. Anger, frustration, fear, or anxiety are signals, not commands. By identifying emotions early, it becomes possible to respond constructively rather than react impulsively. Emotional self-awareness transforms turbulent moments into opportunities for reflection, choice, and equilibrium. Journaling is a powerful tool for cultivating self-awareness. Writing thoughts, feelings, and daily experiences allows reflection on patterns, triggers, and habitual reactions. Journals provide clarity, reveal recurring sources of stress, and track personal growth over time. By recording and analyzing experiences, the mind gains insight into behavior, strengthens self-control, and develops intentional responses to challenges. Mindful practices enhance the ability to observe internal states. Meditation, breathing exercises, and quiet contemplation train the mind to notice thoughts and sensations without distraction. Regular practice increases focus, reduces reactivity, and cultivates a calm awareness that supports decision-making under pressure. Mindfulness creates a space between stimulus and reaction, allowing deliberate choice instead of automatic response. Identifying stress triggers is critical. Self-awareness helps reveal situations, environments, or interactions that provoke tension. Recognizing these triggers provides the opportunity to plan, adjust, or respond strategically rather than reactively. Understanding personal vulnerabilities strengthens resilience and allows the mind to maintain composure under conditions that would otherwise cause anxiety or conflict. Perspective plays a role in managing stress. Viewing challenges as temporary, external, or opportunities for growth reduces the emotional weight of pressure. Self-awareness allows the mind to evaluate situations objectively rather than being swept away by instinctive reactions. Perspective creates calm, enabling rational decision-making and sustained peace even when external conditions are demanding. Self-reflection strengthens awareness of habitual patterns. Evaluating past actions, decisions, and responses highlights areas where improvement is needed and successes can be reinforced. Reflection encourages learning from mistakes and cultivating behaviors that support well-being. A reflective mind becomes proactive, anticipating challenges, adjusting strategies, and maintaining mental balance. Boundaries are reinforced through self-awareness. Recognizing personal limits, energy reserves, and emotional tolerance allows for deliberate choices about engagement and effort. Setting clear boundaries prevents unnecessary stress, protects mental and emotional health, and preserves energy for meaningful pursuits. Awareness of limits enhances efficiency and reduces the likelihood of burnout. Self-talk shapes emotional experience, and awareness of internal dialogue is essential. Negative, critical, or repetitive thoughts amplify stress, while constructive, rational, and encouraging self-talk promotes calm and focus. Monitoring inner dialogue allows the mind to replace destructive narratives with empowering ones. Awareness of self-talk strengthens confidence, reduces anxiety, and fosters internal peace. Values and priorities guide decision-making and reduce inner conflict. Self-awareness allows clear recognition of what matters most, aligning actions with principles and long-term objectives. Decisions rooted in personal values reduce doubt, increase motivation, and provide a sense of purpose that stabilizes the mind. Living in alignment with core values fosters consistent peace and resilience. Physical signals are part of self-awareness. Stress manifests in tension, fatigue, or discomfort, and noticing these signs allows timely intervention. Awareness of the body's responses enables management of stress through rest, movement, or relaxation techniques. A mind in tune with the body can prevent escalation of tension and maintain composure in challenging situations. Observation of behavior strengthens self-awareness. Noticing patterns in actions, reactions, and habits provides insight into how the mind operates under pressure. Self-awareness enables modification of counterproductive behaviors, reinforcement of constructive ones, and deliberate practice of effective strategies. Each adjustment improves emotional stability and mental clarity. Acceptance reinforces inner peace. Self-awareness reveals areas of strength and weakness, allowing honest acknowledgement without self-judgment. Acceptance reduces internal conflict, minimizes wasted energy on denial or resistance, and cultivates a calm, balanced mindset. By accepting reality and personal limitations, the mind operates with clarity, reducing stress and enhancing resilience. Intentional reflection enhances growth. Regularly reviewing experiences, reactions, and emotions encourages conscious learning from each situation. Patterns emerge, strategies are refined, and insight develops into practical knowledge for managing stress and maintaining equilibrium. Reflection strengthens the mind's ability to respond effectively in future challenges. Breathing and grounding techniques support self-awareness under pressure. Deep, Deliberate breaths and focus on the present moment reduce anxiety and create a space for conscious choice. These techniques help the mind detach from automatic reactions, regulate emotional intensity, and regain clarity quickly when stress arises. Awareness of the breath becomes a tool for maintaining calm and composure. Compassion toward oneself strengthens mental stability. Self-awareness highlights areas of struggle, but judgment intensifies stress rather than resolving it. Treating oneself with understanding, patience, and encouragement promotes resilience, reduces internal conflict, and fosters emotional equilibrium. Compassion enhances the ability to navigate difficulty with clarity and calm. Learning from feedback deepens self-awareness. Listening to observations from others provides insights that may not be visible internally. Constructive feedback illuminates blind spots, reinforces awareness of patterns, and guides improvement. Incorporating feedback strengthens decision-making, reduces error, and builds a sense of calm confidence in one's actions. Ultimately, self-awareness is a deliberate practice that allows the mind to observe, understand, and regulate itself. Stress becomes manageable when the mind recognizes triggers, monitors responses, and applies strategies for calm and clarity. Awareness fosters intentional action, emotional balance, and a profound sense of peace. By consistently cultivating self-knowledge, the mind gains mastery over reactions, strengthens resilience, and creates an internal environment where focus, stability, and calm are maintained even in the most challenging circumstances. Chapter 18Z focus on growth to overcome fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are natural responses to uncertainty, risk, and challenges, but they become obstacles when they dominate the mind. A focus on growth shifts attention away from limitations and toward possibilities, turning fear into motivation and doubt into constructive inquiry. Growth-oriented thinking requires the mind to see setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to develop skills, resilience, and understanding. By concentrating on improvement, learning, and progress, the mind diminishes the power of fear and builds confidence in the ability to navigate challenges. The first step is acknowledging fear and doubt without letting them control action. Awareness allows the mind to identify what causes hesitation, what triggers insecurity, and how thoughts interfere with progress. Accepting that these feelings exist reduces internal resistance, making it possible to act deliberately despite discomfort. Recognition transforms fear from a paralyzing force into a signal that guides attention toward areas requiring preparation, focus, or learning. Shifting perspective is crucial. Viewing challenges as opportunities to grow reframes fear from a threat into a teacher. Each obstacle faced becomes a chance to acquire knowledge, strengthen skill, and test limits. This mindset encourages the mind to act rather than withdraw, replacing anxiety with curiosity and determination. Growth becomes the lens through which fear is evaluated, reducing its emotional grip. Setting achievable, incremental goals supports a growth-focused approach. Large ambitions can be overwhelming and trigger doubt, but breaking objectives into smaller, attainable steps makes progress visible and manageable. Each small victory reinforces confidence, demonstrating that effort produces results. Consistent achievement builds momentum, strengthens the mind's belief in capability, and diminishes fear of future challenges. Learning from failure is a cornerstone of growth. Mistakes provide concrete lessons that accelerate development when approached intentionally. A growth mindset interprets errors as feedback rather than judgment, encouraging reflection on what can be improved. This perspective reduces the fear of failure and transforms doubt into a tool for identifying strategies that work more effectively. Curiosity strengthens the ability to overcome fear. Seeking understanding, exploring alternatives, and asking questions redirects focus from anxiety to active problem-solving. Curiosity creates engagement with challenges rather than avoidance, enabling the mind to discover opportunities and solutions that would otherwise remain hidden. The energy that fear consumes is transformed into productive investigation and learning. Self-discipline reinforces growth-oriented thinking. Consistent effort in the face of fear strengthens the mind's capacity to endure discomfort and act strategically. Discipline ensures that progress continues even when doubt tempts hesitation or retreat. Over time, repeated action develops confidence, demonstrating that challenges can be faced successfully through persistence and focus. Visualization enhances the ability to overcome fear. Imagining success, mentally rehearsing challenges, and anticipating potential difficulties prepares the mind to respond effectively in reality. Visualization reduces uncertainty, increases familiarity with obstacles, and strengthens confidence. By rehearsing scenarios in the mind, the brain develops strategies and emotional readiness, making actual execution less intimidating. Reflection strengthens growth by identifying patterns and progress. Reviewing responses to fear and doubt provides insight into strengths, weaknesses, and effective strategies. Reflection reveals how incremental improvements compound over time, reinforcing belief in personal capability. Each instance of deliberate learning builds resilience, reduces apprehension, and enhances the ability to act confidently under pressure. Positive self-talk is essential. The mind responds to internal dialogue, and statements of encouragement, capability, and perseverance counteract fear-driven thoughts. Replacing self-doubt with affirmations of skill, preparation, and resilience strengthens confidence and motivates action. Intentional reinforcement of constructive thoughts directs attention toward growth rather than limitation. Embracing challenges consistently develops courage. The mind becomes stronger when repeatedly exposed to discomfort while maintaining focus on learning and improvement. Facing situations that provoke fear systematically reduces their power, transforming obstacles into familiar terrain. Repetition builds a sense of mastery, demonstrating that success is possible despite uncertainty or apprehension. Resilience is cultivated through persistence. Growth-oriented focus reinforces the mind's ability to recover from setbacks, continue learning, and pursue objectives despite doubt. Each encounter with difficulty strengthens mental endurance, allowing future challenges to be met with confidence rather than hesitation. Resilience transforms fear into motivation and doubt into actionable insight. Mentorship and guidance support growth. Learning from those who have faced similar fears and doubts provides perspective, strategies, and reassurance. Observing successful navigation of challenges demonstrates that fear and doubt are surmountable, reinforcing the mind's belief in capability. External input complements personal effort, accelerating progress and strengthening confidence. Focus on skill development directly counteracts fear. When attention is directed toward learning and improvement, the mind becomes prepared, reducing uncertainty and the likelihood of hesitation. Skill building provides tangible evidence of competence, which diminishes doubt and strengthens readiness to face challenges. Growth emerges as a natural antidote to insecurity. Preparation reduces anxiety and increases confidence. Anticipating potential challenges, gathering necessary resources, and creating actionable plans mitigates fear. The mind feels more capable when a strategy is in place, turning uncertainty into manageable steps. Preparedness strengthens belief in the ability to navigate obstacles successfully. Patience enhances the process of growth. Developing skills, overcoming fear, and building confidence are gradual processes that require time and persistence. Accepting that mastery develops through repeated effort allows the mind to endure discomfort and maintain commitment to improvement. Patience transforms temporary setbacks into opportunities for long-term advancement. Accountability reinforces consistent action. Sharing goals and progress with a mentor, peer, or supportive network creates external reinforcement for pursuing growth despite fear or doubt. Feedback, encouragement, and shared reflection strengthen resolve and provide perspective that maintains focus on improvement rather than avoidance. Perspective shifts emotional energy from fear to empowerment. Viewing each challenge as an opportunity to expand capability allows the mind to respond proactively rather than reactively. Focusing on growth emphasizes potential rather than limitation, encouraging the mind to embrace effort as a vehicle for improvement. Each step forward reinforces confidence and reduces the paralyzing effects of doubt. Ultimately, focusing on growth transforms fear and doubt into allies. A mind trained to seek learning, improvement, and progress approaches challenges with clarity, confidence, and deliberate action. Fear signals areas for attention, and doubt guides evaluation of strategy. but neither dominates decision-making. Concentrating on growth empowers consistent effort, resilience, and achievement. Progress becomes inevitable as fear diminishes and the mind directs energy toward developing skills, acquiring knowledge, and expanding capacity. The practice of growth-centered focus creates a mental framework where fear is managed, doubt is transformed, and success emerges as a natural consequence of persistent, intentional effort. Chapter 9: Strengthen your belief to create lasting motivation. Belief is the foundation of all action, determination, and achievement. It fuels motivation, directs energy, and sustains effort even when circumstances are difficult or results are delayed. Without strong belief in oneself, goals are easily abandoned, challenges become obstacles, and progress stalls. Strengthening belief is not about wishful thinking. It is about deliberately cultivating certainty in capability, purpose, and resilience. When belief is rooted in awareness, experience, and preparation, motivation becomes enduring, self-driven, and unstoppable. The first step is clarity about purpose. Understanding why goals matter and how they align with personal values creates a firm foundation for belief. When the mind is clear about the reasons for effort, external obstacles or temporary setbacks lose the ability to undermine motivation. Purpose provides direction, meaning, and energy, allowing belief to take root and grow steadily over time. Evidence reinforces belief. Reflecting on past successes, lessons learned, and skills developed provides proof that challenges can be met and progress is achievable. Even small accomplishments accumulate into tangible evidence that reinforces confidence in ability. Recognizing what has been achieved strengthens the mind's conviction that future goals are attainable, fueling consistent motivation. Affirmation strengthens internal certainty. Repeating statements of capability, resilience, and commitment primes the mind to expect success rather than failure. Intentional self-talk trains the brain to focus on what is possible, counteracting doubts and fears that erode motivation. Affirmations are not empty words. They are deliberate reinforcement of the mind's capacity to act consistently and persistently. Visualization supports belief by creating mental rehearsal of success. Imagining completion of goals, successful navigation of challenges, and overcoming obstacles primes the mind for action. Visualization builds familiarity, reduces fear of the unknown, and strengthens the connection between effort and result. By seeing achievement vividly, the mind internalizes possibility and strengthens the conviction that effort will produce outcomes. Preparation amplifies confidence. Belief grows when the mind knows it is ready for challenges. Developing skills, gathering knowledge, and planning strategically creates certainty that obstacles can be managed. A prepared mind feels capable, reducing hesitation and reinforcing the sense that effort will yield results. Preparation transforms belief from abstract hope into practical assurance. Consistency reinforces conviction. Regular, repeated effort builds trust in the mind's ability to act effectively. Each instance of persistence strengthens the neural pathways associated with commitment, capability, and resilience. Over time, consistent action produces cumulative proof that goals are achievable, sustaining motivation even in difficult circumstances. Surrounding oneself with support strengthens belief. Positive influences, mentors, and peers provide perspective, encouragement, and reinforcement. Observing others' commitment, resilience, and success reinforces the idea that achievement is possible. Support networks validate effort, model effective behavior, and help maintain belief when internal confidence wavers. Focusing on controllable factors strengthens conviction. Energy spent on variables outside influence reduces effectiveness and weakens belief. Directing attention toward actions, decisions, and preparation ensures that effort is meaningful. Control over process produces tangible progress, reinforcing confidence in ability and sustaining internal motivation. Reflection deepens belief. Regularly reviewing progress, challenges overcome, and lessons learned reinforces the mind's awareness of capability. Reflection transforms experience into evidence of skill and resilience, strengthening certainty in one's ability to act successfully in the future. Each thoughtful evaluation reinforces the internal narrative of competence and determination. Embracing challenges strengthens belief. Facing discomfort, risk, or uncertainty intentionally demonstrates that obstacles can be managed. The mind learns that capability is proven through action, not simply aspiration. Each challenge met reinforces internal conviction, creating a feedback loop that continually strengthens motivation and resilience. Patience supports lasting belief. Confidence is reinforced through experience, and results often take time. Accepting that growth, skill development, and achievement unfold gradually prevents discouragement and protects the mind from abandoning effort prematurely. Patience ensures that belief is maintained through incremental progress and delayed outcomes. Learning transforms doubt into opportunity. When challenges reveal gaps in skill or knowledge, addressing them through deliberate effort strengthens both competence and belief. Each gap filled is tangible proof that effort produces improvement, reinforcing motivation and reducing the influence of fear or uncertainty. Growth reinforces conviction in the ability to succeed. Self-compassion maintains belief through difficulty. Setbacks and mistakes are inevitable, but treating oneself with understanding preserves motivation. Compassion allows reflection, learning, and adjustment without internal defeat, ensuring that belief remains intact even when external progress is slow or obstacles appear daunting. Measuring progress sustains belief. Tracking achievements, milestones, and incremental improvements demonstrates that effort produces results. Visual or recorded evidence strengthens conviction, provides feedback, and encourages continued focus. Awareness of progress fuels motivation and maintains certainty in the trajectory toward goals. Flexibility strengthens belief in sustained motivation. Adapting strategies, approaches, and methods in response to challenges demonstrates that obstacles are manageable. The mind learns that setbacks do not indicate failure, but require adjustment. Belief grows when the mind experiences repeated evidence of capacity to navigate uncertainty successfully. Energy management protects belief. Mental and physical exhaustion diminishes motivation, clouds judgment, and increases susceptibility to doubt. Adequate rest, nutrition, and recovery ensure that the mind can sustain effort, think clearly, and maintain confidence in the ability to achieve objectives. Energy preservation reinforces steady belief and long-term commitment. Accountability reinforces motivation. Sharing goals, progress, and challenges with mentors or supportive peers creates external reinforcement that maintains belief. Feedback, encouragement, and observation provide validation that effort is meaningful and achievable, strengthening internal conviction and reducing the influence of doubt. Perspective converts setbacks into reinforcement for belief. Viewing obstacles as opportunities to test, learn, and grow prevents temporary difficulties from weakening confidence. Each challenge that is addressed with persistence and strategic action strengthens the mind's sense of capability, demonstrating that effort is effective and reinforcing long-term motivation. Ultimately, strengthening belief is a deliberate, ongoing process that combines reflection, preparation, consistent action, and strategic focus. A mind anchored in strong belief sustains motivation even in the face of difficulty, delay, or uncertainty. Belief transforms effort into results, setbacks into lessons, and persistence into progress. When conviction is nurtured intentionally, motivation becomes internal, enduring, and self-propelling, ensuring that the mind remains focused, resilient, and unstoppable in pursuit of meaningful goals. Chapter 20a. Master consistency to achieve mental clarity and success. Consistency is the cornerstone of achievement, clarity, and sustained mental strength. It transforms intention into action, effort into results, and fleeting motivation into permanent progress. Without consistency, even the greatest ideas, skills, or ambitions remain incomplete or unrealized. Mastering this principle means creating reliable patterns of thought, behavior, and focus that operate day after day, gradually building momentum and reinforcing mental clarity. It is through repeated, deliberate effort that the mind becomes disciplined, the body capable, and the life directed toward measurable success. The first step in mastering consistency is commitment. Commitment requires a clear understanding of priorities and the determination to act on them regularly. It is not about sporadic bursts of energy or occasional enthusiasm. It is about creating a steady rhythm of action that becomes automatic. A committed mind aligns daily habits, routines, and decisions with long-term objectives, ensuring progress is uninterrupted and cumulative. Clarity of purpose reinforces consistency. When the mind knows exactly why an effort matters, action becomes easier to sustain. Purpose provides the framework for daily decisions, guiding energy toward activities that produce tangible results. Without clear intention, consistency falters, and effort becomes scattered or ineffective. Purpose allows repeated action to feel meaningful rather than mechanical, strengthening resolve and focus. Habit formation is central to consistent effort. Actions repeated deliberately over time become automatic, reducing the reliance on fluctuating motivation. Structuring routines for high-priority behaviors ensures that progress continues regardless of mood or circumstance. Habits act as scaffolding for achievement, freeing the mind to focus on strategy, problem-solving, and refinement rather than the act of initiating effort itself. Incremental progress is reinforced through consistency. Small, deliberate steps accumulate into significant results when applied regularly. Each repetition strengthens skill, reinforces learning, and enhances confidence. Over time, the compounding effect of consistent action produces outcomes far beyond what sporadic effort could achieve. Mastery is the result of patience, persistence, and repeated engagement rather than sudden inspiration. Discipline underpins consistency. A disciplined mind continues action even when energy wanes, challenges arise, or enthusiasm fades. Discipline bridges the gap between intention and execution, ensuring that daily effort is maintained in alignment with long-term goals. It is the mental muscle that allows reliability, steadiness, and resilience to develop, providing a foundation for mental clarity and success. Tracking progress enhances consistency. Awareness of accomplishments, milestones, and patterns reinforces commitment and identifies areas requiring adjustment. Measurement turns abstract effort into concrete evidence, motivating continued engagement and providing insight into strategies that produce results. Documentation strengthens accountability, encourages refinement, and sustains long-term effort. Focus amplifies consistent practice. Directing attention toward the most impactful tasks ensures that repeated effort produces meaningful outcomes. Eliminating distractions and prioritizing what matters preserves energy and reinforces the value of each action. A focused mind maintains continuity, minimizing wasted effort and reinforcing progress over time. Flexibility supports sustained consistency. Obstacles, interruptions, and unexpected changes are inevitable, but adaptability ensures that commitment to action continues. Adjusting plans, methods, or timing without abandoning effort maintains the rhythm of progress. Flexibility allows the mind to remain steady in pursuit of goals while responding intelligently to shifting circumstances. Accountability strengthens persistence. Sharing goals, routines, and achievements with mentors, peers, or supportive networks creates external reinforcement for consistency. Feedback, encouragement, and observation maintain motivation, provide perspective, and ensure that effort is sustained even when internal drive fluctuates. External accountability transforms personal commitment into a structured, reliable system. Time management is essential, allocating specific periods for deliberate practice. Focused work and goal-oriented activity ensures that consistent action is not derailed by distractions or competing demands. Prioritizing effort for critical tasks guarantees that repetition occurs in areas that produce the most impact. Structured time strengthens discipline and reinforces the habit of regular, purposeful engagement. Reflection supports ongoing refinement. Evaluating routines, outcomes, and strategies allows for adjustments that enhance efficiency and effectiveness. Consistency is reinforced when actions are deliberate and informed by insight rather than blindly repeated. Reflection transforms repetitive effort into intelligent practice, optimizing results and sustaining motivation. Resilience grows through sustained consistency. Regular action in the face of setbacks, challenges, or temporary failure demonstrates the mind's capacity to endure. Each repeated effort strengthens confidence, reduces fear of difficulty, and reinforces the ability to maintain focus despite obstacles. Resilient minds are capable of maintaining clarity and momentum even in unpredictable circumstances. Patience complements consistent effort. Results often take time to manifest, and maintaining action without immediate reward requires endurance. Patience allows the mind to trust the process, persist through challenges, and accumulate small wins into substantial achievements. Consistent action guided by patience ensures that progress is long-term and sustainable. Self-belief reinforces the ability to act consistently. Confidence in one's capacity to produce results motivates repeated engagement and reduces hesitation. Each completed task, milestone, or challenge faced reinforces internal conviction, creating a self-sustaining cycle of effort and belief. Strengthened belief ensures that consistency becomes habitual and resilient against doubt. Environment influences sustained consistency. Surroundings, routines, and social contacts either support or undermine regular effort. Structuring the environment to minimize distractions, reinforce priorities, and provide cues for action enhances reliability. External conditions aligned with objectives reduce friction, making consistent behavior more natural and automatic. Energy management maintains the capacity for ongoing effort. Physical and mental fatigue erode discipline, focus, and motivation. Prioritizing rest, nutrition, exercise, and recovery ensures that the mind and body have the resources to sustain consistent performance. Energy preservation strengthens persistence, clarity, and the quality of repeated action. Celebrating incremental progress reinforces effort. Recognizing small achievements provides positive reinforcement that sustains motivation and engagement. Each milestone achieved affirms the value of consistent action, strengthens resolve, and encourages the mind to continue operating with focus and discipline. Rewarding progress ensures that consistency is both sustainable and satisfying. Visualization and mental rehearsal support repeated effort. Mentally practicing desired actions, routines, and behaviors primes the mind to perform effectively, reducing friction and enhancing reliability. Visualization aligns intention with action, ensuring that repeated behaviors remain deliberate, purposeful, and optimized for success. Ultimately, mastering consistency transforms effort into achievement, intention into action, and goals into reality. A mind trained to act reliably, persistently, and deliberately develops clarity, focus, and resilience. Success is not dependent on motivation alone. It emerges from repeated, thoughtful, and disciplined effort. Through consistency, the mind operates with direction, purpose, and strength, achieving results that accumulate over time and creating a foundation for enduring mental clarity, personal growth, and lasting accomplishment.